The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93 Air.
Morning.
Today is Friday.
Friday, finally, the weekend is here.
I'm gonna get you high today, cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
We had a guy, he dressed up in a full ninja suit and had a ninja sword, and he stabbed his girlfriend's grandmother and killed her with it. My buddy, he was a first cop, like on the scene, goes inside the house, he sees the crime scene. When he walks outside, the guy is like still in the front yard with the whole ninja suit and the sword. I mean, apparently this guy was a terrible ninja. I've never read a ninja manual or anything, but I think it's like, first you kill him, and two, you should probably leave. I don't think it's a meet and greet after.
We had a waitress quit on us once. She just quit. She was like, oh, that's a good choice. She wrote everything down and then walked to her car and drove to her house. And she didn't tell anybody she was going to quit, so no one knew to check on us. She was at home watching TV, and I mean, we sat there with probably the most trust we've ever had in a person. I think about her every day. You know, what happened? Where did you go? Does she think about us? Did we eat? Are we still there?
Well, this is where we wrap things up. Rolling in here with the final for the week. Welcome. And thank you for tuning into the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It's a big day for us. A big friggin' day, because after the stinking radio show is over, we're collectively migrating over to the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. Today is one of two buy something or get out appearances for our program at the 93X broadcast and merchandise booth at the State Fair. So stop by if you're hitting the fairgrounds today. I'll be damned, it's going to be fun, Josh.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be, oh, God.
I forgot to look at the weather. What are we looking at here?
Torrential downpour.
Are you serious?
No, it's going to be nice.
It's just going to be cloudy.
That's it? I can handle cloudy.
Yeah, cloudy, high of 80.
As long as the sun isn't out, I'm good.
I'm going to send an early apology to my butt. I think I'm going to have to try that deep-fried ranch.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, same here. I have to try that.
It sounds disgusting to me, but I really want to try it. I've seen so much on it, and people seem to really enjoy it.
I can say get there early. Did you see pictures of the lines yesterday for it?
No.
Oh, they were long.
Were they?
Yep.
Yeah, I just read about it. I didn't watch any of the news on it.
Josh, I know we're just starting to get to know each other, but can I pipe in on this?
Of course.
A friend of mine was at the fair yesterday. I know that because I saw him. I was there too. And he stopped by and got himself some fried ranch or whatever you were just talking about.
Yep.
And he said, no.
Oh, really?
He said, because I said, was it good? And he said, no.
It doesn't sound good. At least not to me.
Is he a true ranch lover, though? Do you know that about him?
Save it, Ashley.
Well, I mean, I have a Yellowstone shirt.
Just save it.
I think my youngest is going to love it. He's a ranch fan.
Is he excited for the cheese on a stick like usual?
Yeah, he is. I mean, there's that cheese on a stick booth, or one similar, goes to the VFW there in Roseville quite often.
Oh, cool.
And so we'll stop out there in the summer to get some of that and buy like 8 of them.
Oh, I've always wanted to, but I always miss it.
So stop by, check us out, and next Friday morning we'll be pulling off the same bit, but you don't need or care about that just yet, or ever.
Yeah, most people don't care even about today, I don't think.
No, of course not.
We had a text yesterday from a person who said, what days are you going to be there so I know the days to avoid? So, yes, both Fridays, don't go.
Right.
I also, real quick, I flossed last night. I made a promise to a member of the sisterhood, Dental Babe Sheezus, who said she might make it out today. And I said, if you do, just the thought that you might show up, I'm going to floss in case she makes it out. So I'm prepared to meet one of the members of the sisterhood.
She could put you under the lights and give you a, what do they call it in the business?
Like an inspection?
Yes.
I don't think they call it that.
Yeah,
but
cleaning?
Well, no, but...
you guys know where he's going with that.
Yeah.
You're as clean as a whistle just in case Dental Babe Sheezes wants to give you a look-see.
Yeah, so I flossed last night, and I thought, boy, I should do this more often. I ate that 3 days ago. Why is that still in there? It was disgusting.
I don't know how anyone... I don't know how anyone ever bothers with that flossing.
It does feel really good once you're done with it. You're like, like Josh said, you're like, I should pick this up again. And then you don't.
That's right. You're 100% right.
Dr. James Parnell, some call him Dr. P. Jesus. He'll be our in-studio guest today at 8:15. And is there word going around the building that Dr. P might join us at the 93X booth today?
Yes, he hasn't confirmed it yet. He's going to try and see if he can rearrange his work schedule. But today is his Friday, and he thought maybe he could get out a little early and join us.
Well, that will be nice. And if Dr. P is going to be with us at the booth today, then I'm rooting for someone to need medical assistance while we're there. I want to see if he's all talk or if he can really handle his business when the chips are down.
Can you imagine how funny would that be if he's been gaslighting us for, 5 years? Yeah. He's not a doctor at all. I mean, think about it. I met him in a bowling alley. And I've never seen him in one of the doctor's smocks. I've never seen him with a stethoscope.
It has come off shady from the get-go. And how long have we known him now, and how long have we been featuring him on this program?
Yeah, it's at least 5 years. I mean, he's given me several digital exams over the years, which led me to believe maybe he's a real doctor. You know how doctors do it by candlelight and after a glass of wine?
Yeah, and they make it feel more recreational to make you feel more comfortable with the whole situation.
The guy comes off slick as snot on the radio, does he not? But I have never fully bought it. So I'm hoping that I don't think he really knows. So I'm hoping someone needs how did I say it?
Medical attention?
Close enough. I'm hoping someone needs what Wapple just said while we're at the booth today to see if this guy can really handle his business, or are we the victims of a grand scam?
I gotta say, there's a very big part of me that hopes we've been scammed all these years. I've never considered it.
I think I'd respect him more if he'd been scamming us the whole time than if he'd actually gone to med school and became a successful doctor.
Yeah.
Some dude's walking by the booth, and there's maybe, he steps in a rut. Boom! The ACL pops right there. He goes down. Will Dr. P know how to treat something like that, or are we being scammed? We're going to maybe going to find out today. Let's see what else is going on around here. Yeah, like I was saying, I visited the fairgrounds yesterday afternoon/evening, me and the friggin' wife.
Heard the whole thing was packed. Was that the case?
I didn't think it was all that busy.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah, a few people texted in and said, never seen it like this. Absolutely packed.
But we went after the thunderstorms.
Oh, maybe people cleared out.
And maybe,
smart move.
We just got lucky. It wasn't a strategical thing. I didn't think it was all that packed. We had a very pleasant evening. The weather was great after the storms rolled through. We did a few laps, Cubby. We saw this, we saw that.
Did you get anything on a stick, or did you get a Spam burger or anything?
Want me to give you the full rundown?
Yeah.
Spam burger. Number one move I made. They've changed locations. I'll explain when we get there.
Thank you.
All right? Because, I rounded that corner. Ashley, we round that corner whenever we do this dopey appearance at the fair that we're going to do today. Ashley and I usually round that corner, and when we spot the Spam booth from about 1,000 yards out, we both get excited, right?
Heck yeah.
Last night afternoon, I rounded that corner to one there, and I went into a panic.
Oh, that's scary.
Went into a friggin' panic. I said, for Christ's sake, they took the Spam booth out of here again, because a couple years ago it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was there, and then suddenly a couple years ago it was gone.
I remember the disappointment on your faces.
I panicked yesterday, and I got on the friggin' wife's case right away, because she knows how to operate the internet and whatnot. And I said, get on the friggin' internet. Find out if the Spam booth is gone, or is it still? It's still there. It's just in a different spot. I went over, got my Spam burger. So that was move number one. We found ourselves up at, what's that St. Paul bar?
O'Gara's?
O'Gara's. We found ourselves at O'Gara's, and we shared a bucket of What's that sandwich called again? Reuben balls.
Yeah,
we
those
shared
Reuben bites are bomb.
We shared a barrel of Reuben balls.
So.
I didn't even know there was such a thing. I love Reubens.
Oh yeah, O'Gara's is known for it at the fair.
They are? The Reuben balls?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of it.
All right. After that, I got myself tap beer.
Ooh, Midway Men's Club.
And then an iced cream.
You know, I was just thinking.
And that's it. No Wapple. I walked by the Midway Men's Club many times, but the line was too long.
Oh, people are on to us.
They've never let me in there.
Really?
Yeah, never once. They're like, no. This is the men's club.
Men's club.
The boys' club is that way.
Yeah, this is the men's club.
To give you a recap, Spam Burger.
Bing.
Reuben nuts.
Bam.
Cold beer. Iced cream.
Zooey mama. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good balanced diet right there.
I was just thinking.
That's how I operate.
Can you imagine any other situation where I asked you, what'd you eat yesterday? And you not looking at me like I was a moron? But it just makes sense for the fair. So, knows everything about nothing, Jesus says about us hanging out at the fair today. Screw visiting the 93X morning show. Come visit him at the Minnesota Zoo until 3 o'clock. So if you're over
Minnesota
on that side,
Zoo.
If you're over on the south side of the city, so you want to head over to Apple Valley, you can visit Knows Everything About Nothing Jesus until 3 p.m.
At the friggin' Minnesota Zoo. What's he doing there? I'm sorry.
He didn't say specifically. Maybe he's just...
Is he going to be in a cage?
Don't know. Just enjoying it.
So, yeah, 10 to noon today. If you happen to be at the fair, what the hell? Stop by, buy something, get out.
How did you walk by the black box at Rocks?
I did, yeah.
How'd it look? Yeah, I thought in pictures I thought it looked great.
I didn't take that close of a look.
You didn't?
I walked past it, but I didn't look in the direction of our broadcast booth out of fear that a fellow employee would want to talk to me.
Understandable.
Nice.
Yep.
You wouldn't even recognize a fellow employee. That's how you'd be screwed. Somebody would come up to talk to you, and you don't realize it until they say, "Oh, I'm a fellow employee."
Probably correct.
Are you?
You're probably correct. So I didn't take a close look, but we did walk by. I'm hoping some foxy ladies stop by today.
I was just going to ask if there was any hot mamas, or I hope not whores, because your wife does not like whores. We've learned that.
Now
before.
she's got a problem with whores. Your question is, were there hot mamas at the fair yesterday?
Specifically our booth.
See, like I said, I didn't look.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you'd be looking for hot mamas no matter where you were. So you didn't see any by our booth?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's not, I guess that's not a huge shock.
I was, like I said, I mean,
who are they going to go see, you know?
I'm hoping today we get some foxy ladies swing by. I like that. Hey, here's a guy who's a day late and $1 short, but that doesn't bother us at all. A listener texted in. He listened to the podcast, our podcast yesterday. So he didn't catch the show live. Do you guys follow how this works?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He didn't catch the show live between 5:40 and 9 yesterday. He listened to it in some kind of a podcast form. So he missed out on our conversation about highlights and lowlights of our experiences at the fair. But he got back to us anyway through that text machine. And he said, I've got a state fair lowlight for you. And it's funny that he brought this up because me and the friggin' wife were talking about this yesterday when we were strolling around the fairgrounds. Listener says, I've got a state fair lowlight for you. That time my dad was on the news because his bull got loose and died. Luckily, I wasn't there, but not cool.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I do too.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Didn't that also happen at the, I don't
Dakota
know
County
yeah,
Fair?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yep.
Wow.
You don't
You
know the
shavered
story?
me. You shavered me on
Yeah,
that.
don't
bad.
shave her, Josh. He's been doing this for near 30 years.
You jumped in there.
You don't jump in and
I
finish
promise
it.
you, I was just about to get there.
Yeah,
I said,
got excited.
Didn't that almost happen at the, and I would have finished it with Dakota County.
I know a few things that piss Josh off. I do. And at the top of the list is when you finish his friggin' sentence for him.
Yeah, it's not even that really pissed me off. It's confusing. That it seemed like I wasn't going to get there.
That aggravates me, too.
Why are we in such a hurry?
In such a hurry.
We have to be... We have to be here until
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Josh was going to say 9 a.m. We have to be here until 9 a.m.
To answer your question, Nick, no, I don't have any recollection of this.
This was, would you say it was a smooth decade ago?
Oh, it's got to be, right? Maybe I'll Google it.
At the state fair, a bull got loose, and luckily it didn't, send a few 4-year-olds to meet their maker. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
A bull on the loose at the state fair. This is the story that I remember. Unfortunately for the bull, you know how they'll target things and then send them into Bolivia. That's what bulls do. They see something and then they launch it into outer space. You guys have been to the rodeo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the first damn thing this bull targeted was one of those big concrete balls that are all over the sidewalks. You know what I'm saying? Or was it a fire hydrant?
It was a fire hydrant.
Oh, sorry, I blew up. It targeted a fire hydrant. I was picturing those big concrete balls that are out front of every...
Like a Target or something.
Yeah, so psychomaniacs don't drive their car through the... It targeted a stinking fire hydrant, and apparently it just killed itself dead.
2007.
Yeah, that's awful.
It said, look at that, whatever that is over there. I'm going to launch that thing across. Boop, bing. And it knocked itself into Bolivia.
Especially if it is one of those, like, classic red fire hydrants, too. Isn't that their thing? They're, like, red?
That's what they taught us in the cartoons. I don't know if that's actually true, that bulls target red.
Red. Bulls target red.
I know one evening I saw red.
Oh, my gosh.
When I looked into the room, I saw red, and my heart just spilled out onto the floor, and I said, I don't think I'm going to be in love with you anymore.
That's funny. I was watching, recently I've been watching a lot of warrant videos and live shows and stuff like that, and that song, of course, comes up quite a bit.
Since it's Friday, we ought to play it. Ooh, it must be magic how inside your eyes I see my destiny.
Here's the issue, though. Our regular podcast editor is on vacation.
Every time I see your face, I think good things and want to fold you down. But the one night I came home and you were pinning some other dude, and I had a little meltdown and I'm breaking up with you. Come on now, I saw red. What band, Warrant?
I already said that. I do like that song. And, I like Janie Lane. He'll tell a little story before the song, or he used to tell it. He's deceased.
He checked out.
Yeah, he ran into a fire hydrant. It was a very sad
My
story.
God.
It made the news. He would talk about how of the songs that he's written, that one really meant a lot to him.
He ran into a fire hydrant filled with cocaine is what he ran into.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And alcohol.
Jeez.
Oh, God. Speaking of music, as my dad used to say, music, I saw somebody jotted down some of the more weird shows that have appeared at the State Fair grandstand over the years. Things like Dirty Dancing Live. Did anyone see the Dirty Dancing Live show at the State Fair back in 1998?
Missed that one.
I
Wasn't
haven't
alive.
Yeah,
in
you were.
98, you weren't alive, Wop.
Oh, I thought he said 88.
No, I did not. I did not say 88, Wapple. I clearly said 1998.
Yeah, he really did say 1998.
He probably just heard Dirty Dancing, assumed 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Wop, I just got a text. Somebody wants to know.
You know what assuming does, Josh? Tell them what assuming does.
It makes an ass out of you and me.
What were you saying now?
A texter wants to know, Wapple, have you heard of the interrupting cow? Is that something you've ever heard of?
No.
Moo!
Oh.
Moo. How's that for you?
Okay.
Dirty Dancing, the movie. Never saw it.
I haven't either.
But I did see bits and pieces of it a handful of months ago. And it's absolutely horrible.
Is it really?
It's horrible.
It's such a, maybe
it's
classic
kinda
an
dark.
okay word for that? What do you say?
Classic?
Like that movie. What do you...
It's beloved, I think, by a lot of people.
Yeah, beloved. That's probably a better way to
Horrible. My friggin' wife and all her girlfriends love it. And they verbally attacked me one night when I said I've never partied with the Dirty Dancing movie. They looked at me like I was a madman. And I said, well, why the hell would I ever watch a dancing movie? It's a love story, dance off. Why would I ever? So a few months ago, it came on the television, and I watched a little bit of it. It's absolutely one of the stupidest things. And I had the same experience with Footloose. Never saw it.
I haven't seen that either.
Me either.
And it was just insanely popular in 1984, but I never bothered.
Like the song?
I like the. Oh, I hate that. Friggin', that song sucks.
That hurt
It's so.
I love that song.
What did you just do?
I don't know when I went, what? It hurt my throat really bad.
You just killed Josh.
That hurt bad.
Well, first off, I've never heard you say what like you just said what.
Maybe that's why I don't have to practice.
And you tore a vocal cord like Tom Kiefer at a live show. The song Footloose is garbage. It always has been garbage. So I never bothered with it. I like the Loverboy. I like the Mike Reno and Ann Wilson song.
Sure.
Almost Paradise.
That's a good one.
Anything with Mike Reno, I'll listen to. But just recently, I watched Footloose in its entirety. How in God's name did that movie make more than $5.75?
Really?
It is so effing bad. Anyway.
But that's what makes it fun, though, is how stupid it is.
No.
I think back when it was popular, people didn't think that, right? I don't think anybody watched it sarcastically.
There are rare exceptions when a movie is so dumb that it's fun. Footloose is not one of those movies. It's just not.
How's Kevin Bacon, though?
Terrible.
Really?
Absolutely terrible. He didn't know how to act yet in 1984.
He wears a lot of tight white T-shirts.
That's the recipe for success sometimes, right?
In 1989, now I wished I would have seen half of this program at the State Fair Grandstand in 1989. Jim Varney made an appearance. Does anyone even remember who that is?
Ernest.
Yeah.
Ernest P. Warren.
Right.
I never knew more than Ernest.
Yeah, he had a full name.
Ernest P. Worrell. Excuse me, I messed that up.
Yeah. Never saw any of his movies, but I love the bit.
I loved the movies growing up.
So did I. We used to rent those from Mr. Movies down the road.
Yeah, Ernest Goes to Camp.
All those Ernest movies.
Joining Jim Varney that night was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which
What a bill.
never got involved in any of that. 1990, they were brand new. The Simpsons made some kind of an appearance. I don't know how that's. What are we talking about?
Was it just a big video screen?
We don't know. I don't know.
I think they had live action, obviously in costume Simpsons, and they talked and sang songs and stuff.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see something like that.
But in 1990, I bet it wasn't as entertaining as it would have been, say, 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
They really hadn't perfected their act yet in 1990.
Not at all.
I remember watching The Simpsons in 1990, and I thought it was just nothing.
It's a lot. It's a lot different.
Oh, way, way, way different. It was all Bart.
Yeah,
And
he was the star.
Yeah, and I didn't think Bart was funny at all.
I liked it at that time.
Nickelodeon made a couple of appearances at the State Fair Grandstand in 1992 and 93. I don't know anything about Nickelodeon, but this was a program called Double Dare Live and a program called Wild and Crazy Kids Live.
So I didn't have cable at that time. I didn't get cable until I was like mid-20s.
Yeah, right.
But Double Dare Live, I would have loved to see that.
That would have been fun. They've done it at Mall of America a few times where they get kids out there getting slimed and stuff and going down, doing the obstacle course.
See, who's this now? Beef Cannon Jesus texted in, and he agrees with me. He says, Footloose is straight up ass. You're right, Beef Cannon Jesus.
Yeah, it's no real interest.
In 1996, Wheel of Fortune put on a program at the fair. Does that mean Pete, what the hell's his name again?
Pat Sajak?
Patty.
Yeah. And Vanna White?
P-Pants Sajak? Yeah. I don't know. Did they? Does anyone know?
I'm not sure exactly who was hosting it. I went to
That'd be a nice Devil's threesome for me, by the way. Vanna White and Pat Sajak.
You'd be okay with that one?
And you know what, Vanna, if you can't make it, cool.
Get it on, Cubby.
Yeah.
Get it the F on. Well, they're going to add to this list of, kind of bizarro comedy shows that have made appearances at the State Fair Grandstand. They're going to add to this list next Thursday when Motley Crue takes the stage. The friggin' wife last night said, she said, if you want to go to Motley Crue, I'll go with you.
Oh my God.
And so, honestly, I might go. You know what you were just saying, Dana, about sometimes things are so bad, they're fun?
Mm-hmm. You just want to be there to see that train wreck?
Would you mind taking, or ask your wife to to take a picture. I know it might be difficult for you to figure that one out, but have her send me a picture of the muumuu Vince is wearing on stage.
Oh, God.
He's always got an interesting outfit nowadays.
So now I might actually go see MLE Crew.
So I looked at the Wheel of Fortune thing at the State Fair in 1996. It was hosted by Bob Eubanks.
Oh, shoot. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I can't picture Bob Eubanks.
Yeah, let me I can
Newlyweds.
Newlyweds.
Handsome fella.
The Newlywed Game?
You'd know him if you saw him. Here, this.
Newlywed Game. I can't picture him. Oh, hell, now I can picture him. Of course, he's one of the most well-known game show. No kidding. That sumbitch hosted it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I bet he made for a great show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I bet the line of fly honeys was long backstage.
He was slinging it. Bob Eubanks. Is he still with us?
Yep.
86.
80. F me running sick.
That guy's a stud.
All right. There you go. I suppose if we're going to stay on time, we ought to get going. So,
5 Feet of Fury, she just said, I'll see you guys at the fair today, I guess, when I buy something and leave.
Hey, man, that's how it works. Buy something, couple of smart-ass comments. If you got one, get out.
Speaking of smart-ass comments, I like this, and I can empathize. I wanted to check in, this text starts. I only get to listen for a few minutes to the live show, but I do listen to the podcast daily, and I just want you to know that I am way funnier during the podcast. He said, I always think of one of the funniest things to text, then when I'm listening live, I effing choke.
You know what?
At least you think of it. There's times like later in the day, I'll go, oh, God, why didn't I say that? Or this would have been so much better, or dang, that sucked. I should have done this. I always think, I calm myself by going, hey, at least I eventually thought it.
Yeah.
So
not everybody's clutch.
Live, it's different.
Yeah.
Some of the funniest people I know, when you put a mic in front of them, it just doesn't work out. So I'm sure you're hilarious. Don't even worry about it. We've all been there.
These things can happen. Wow, some listener sent us a picture. Wow, this is great. Speaking of old State Fair shows, a listener sent us a picture of his ticket stub from a show that he saw at the State Fair Grandstand August 22nd, 1975. It cost him $3.
Oh.
$3 to go in and see the Osmonds. The flippin' Osmonds. That's great. Appreciate that. When I was a child, Josh, there weren't a lot of women that got me climbing the walls the way Marie Osmond did.
I can see
Sure,
why.
there was Olivia Newton-John was off the charts when I was a young kid. Debbie Boone. I've told you about these heartthrobs I had when I was a tiny little kid. Marie Osmond was in that mix. Oh, was she gorgeous. Oh no. And I thought
She
Donnie
still
was.
is.
Yeah, she still is. Oh, God.
I think that might be doctor assisted, but she's still very attractive.
And Donnie was just cool. You know?
His name's Donnie.
Donnie. Women love
You know a lot of Donnies.
I do. And then, I wonder if in 1975 Donnie knew that years later he would appear in the White and Nerdy video with Weird Al Yankovic.
I bet he had a sense.
Probably had a sense of it. Smart guy.
That's a fun video.
Thank you very much for that picture. That's fascinating. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Right now, text QUEEN, QUEEN, QUEEN to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to the Gaslight Anthem. This will be taking place Friday, August 30th at the Fillmore. Prize provided by Live Nation. This keyword is good today, August 23rd until midnight.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Good to see you, Bruce Feldman, the Big 12 landscape. I just know how Dion is, where he's coming from. His wins are measured differently. The question is, as you said, it's got to go from 4 to 8.
I think they can do that. It would be hard not to get better considering how bad they were on the offensive line last year. Now, their schedule actually feels harder this year than it was last year.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
It happened again, Cubby.
What happened?
A guy got his nuts bit off by a python while he was sitting on the throne cutting a turd log.
Does that make anybody here nervous? I've never...
Not at all.
Yeah, see, me neither. Me neither. Like you see sometimes out of Florida, people are like, look at this, oh my gosh, an iguana is in my toilet somehow.
It doesn't make me nervous. Now, if it was a rat, that would make me... I'm not going to say it would make me nervous, but it would...
You'd wonder every time?
It would affect me a little bit because I do know a guy who was sitting down on the throne way up north at his fishing shack, and some kind of critter, I believe it was a rat, was down in the toilet.
Oof.
And he jumped out of off the seat, ass naked, went running through his cabin, screaming bloody murder, made a complete jackass out of himself.
No damage, though? It didn't bite him or anything?
It didn't bite him or grab him. It was just kind of there.
That would cause me to double check from that point on.
But a friggin' python there, that's not going to happen around here, right? Someone tell me that's not going to happen.
Unless you have like a neighbor at your apartment building whose python gets loose or something like that.
Dude, you know the story about my old pal at his apartment complex right here in town. He gets a knock at his door one day, and it was the landlord. And the landlord says, I'm going to everyone's door, giving him a heads up. One of the tenants here had their pet snake cut loose on him. Can't find it. Pet snake of some sort. So the landlord tells my pal, if you see the snake, give me a call. And my pal says, you're talking to the wrong person. I am deathly afraid of snakes. I hate snakes. If I see this friggin' thing, I'm not going to make a phone call. I'm going to kill it. And my pal just gives his landlord this heads up and says, the next time I talk to you, it might be because I've killed this damn thing, and you're going to have to tell that tenant, too bad. Too bad you couldn't control your pet, right? And the landlord says, no, don't do anything crazy like that. I'll get back to you. I know we'll find the damn thing. It'll be all right. Sure as hell, a few days later, my pal comes smooth out the shower, and there's that damn snake in the hallway of his apartment. And unfortunately, he couldn't really, what's the term I'm looking for, put his money where his mouth was, and I don't blame him for that. He didn't dramatically kill the snake like he warned he would. He freaked out. And again, I don't blame him. And he goes running out of his apartment with a hand towel over his bag and penis. That's how frightened he was. He didn't have a towel, or he didn't want to go and grab his pants. He just ran out of his apartment. Now he's walking around the apartment, ass cheeks jiggling. Finds some people in the hallway and says, call everybody. That friggin' snake is in my apartment. And they went and fetched it.
I think my wife is trying to get me not to shower because she told me the other day that she found on 3 occasions a spider in our shower, different spiders. She did kill them, but they keep coming, to use a Rat song, back for more for whatever reason. Luckily, I haven't seen one, but I'm looking everywhere. I'm on the lookout.
Yeah, you don't like those sumbitches.
She might have to see me naked. I might have to yell for her to come kill the spider if I see one in there.
Yeah, she might have to see you in the nude. So here we go. In Thailand is where it happened this time. Dude got his nuts bit. What are you going to do? He's just a-setting on the toilet, and the snake sunk its teeth into a player's bag.
I heard about a man in Thailand who was using the bathroom when he was bitten down there by a 12-foot python. The guy is okay, but the python just found out he has a nut allergy.
And Jimmy Fallon is that Jimmy Fallon?
Yep.
Incorrect information. It wasn't a 12-foot, it was a 32-foot python.
That's a lot larger.
Hard to believe this guy just didn't die on contact. but he did live to tell the tale. Thanat. That's his first name. You want to know the last name? Sure. Do you or do you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tang to Wanan.
That's sweet.
I know. That's the name of the poor bastard.
I hope he didn't play any sports. Tough to fit that on the back of a jersey, I would think.
Yeah, you'd have to pay extra.
Mr. Tang to Wanan, he shared his story with all the dorks and the 8th graders on that godless social media. He posted a video of him grabbing the python out of the toilet. And in the video, there's testicle blood all over the floor.
Oh. Yeah, I saw that. That was gross.
This guy's tough. By God, he is.
Yeah, he bled quite a bit.
Yeah.
Out of his testes, Josh.
You don't want to bleed from that area.
He said he was being careful that morning, too. He went on into his bathroom for his morning deuce. He flushed the toilet ahead of time because python and reptile ball bag attacks happen in his neighborhood, and he knows that.
Oh, he could sense it was going to happen to him.
He flushed and then he sat down. I don't know if he looked into the bowl. He must not have, because after he got into the prone position, he felt a sharp sack pain and realized something had sunk its teeth into his pills. But I think that's very interesting that he even flushed ahead of time. Probably something he does every morning, because this is a common occurrence.
I would still have to check even after you flush. That would just be routine.
Yeah,
if you knew that it was a possibility.
Yeah,
but maybe
it happens a lot.
Right, but maybe it's a situation where you've done that for so many years and it's never happened.
Right, exactly.
Or wouldn't that suck? You still flush and it still wiggles its way up even after you check.
It's a 32-footer, Waffle.
Yep, it's strong.
It's a 42-foot python.
Oh, gosh.
So he feels the pain. He looks down. The snake is hanging from his scrotum.
Do you guys know this python keeps getting bigger?
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
He grabs all 52 feet of this snake. He grabs it, tries to rip it loose.
Oh, no.
But it was too strong. Too strong. It stayed locked in place.
Oh, no.
Now he's freaking out. And he ups and grabs a toilet brush, and he used that to brutally beat the snake. Go ahead with the jokes, 651-989. He used the toilet brush to beat the snake until it finally went limp and died.
That's how it went out.
I'm sure you're just panicking, right?
Absolutely.
The tighter the grip, you're just panicking and panicking. By the way, thanks to Miralax, I've seen something bigger in my toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Miralax.
Oh.
I mean it. I want to thank the people at Miralax.
Oh.
At least you're able to produce something, right?
Yep.
52-footer.
62.
You got to listen to when the guy's telling the story, okay?
I don't know how many times. So then dude asks his neighbor to bring him to the hospital because he's bleeding testicle blood all over his apartment.
Oh, that's a good neighbor right there.
Yuck.
He says he feels fine now, and so do his little seeds. The snake, they say here, was non-venomous, so... You know, I guess if it had some venom in there, he probably would have died on the spot. I don't know.
Listeners are saying, Nick, you have Fisherman's Disease, where every time you talk about the catch there in the toilet, it gets bigger. I've never heard that term before.
Early to bed, early to rise, fish like hell, and make up lies. I don't know, man. I think I'd be crapping on my bedroom floor from then on out.
Yeah, I'd be wearing a diaper,
Yep.
I think.
I just, you know what I would do? I would do like what I did at my townhome in Hamel all those years ago. I'd just spread newspaper on the floor of the garage like I have a new puppy and let her buck in that fashion.
Yep, I would never sit on a toilet again.
I'd be so afraid of the toilet. All right, has any of you, have you taken a look-see at what folks are calling Costco's new penis cups?
Yeah, I assumed that this was going to be a bit of an exaggeration, but I think it's relatively accurate.
Are these pictures up on 93x.com worthy?
Yep.
All right.
It's nothing where you know how sometimes somebody will say, "Hey, did you recognize it looks like this?" And you have to kind of look at it at a certain angle. Go, "Oh, I can see how you'd say that." This is pretty obvious to me that is a penis.
Yeah, you can tell. It's they call them the Costco penis cups. Some Reddit dork originally posted the pictures, and now they're everywheres. You know the clear lid that you put over the top of your soft drink cup?
Mm-hmm.
So they hand you one of those at one point or another when you're getting a pop at Costco. Are you telling me that if I stop by a Costco in my neighborhood this weekend, I could see one of these penis cups? Or is this something that's happening in Iceland or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We got to make a Costco run. I'll go order one of those and see.
Right.
I mean, everyone is kind of trying to turn away from using straws in general.
I'm sorry?
That's why they have the opening. There's no straw in the cup.
Oh.
They're trying to go away from that.
Why are people don't want to use straws anymore?
Just the turtles and stuff.
The turtles?
Yeah, it gets stuck in their little noses.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Bad for the environment.
And the environment, I don't believe there is no such friggin' thing as the environment.
I've been saying it for years. There is no environment.
Don't talk to me about the environment because it's fake.
There is not an environment.
Okay, so that's the gimmick. You peel back the plastic lid. You don't blast a straw through the opening. You just put your hot little willing mouth on top of the... Okay. And the opening is shaped like a pecker plus balls. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. And they're having a lot of laughs over at Costco because, they had to have known what they were doing. They're looking for a good time. And, the smart mouth comments from the people on the internet. Costco just expects me to drink from the balls of my lid. And here come the friggin' puns. Oh, do I hate the puns. But Josh loves them.
Depends.
So you know what do I do, Josh? I go ahead anyway.
I know, you're a good friend.
Looks like you got shafted. The instructions say to push in, not pull out. Remember to cup the bottom.
That's kind of funny.
You need to tongue punch that open like a champ.
The tongue punch. Is that the most popular joke in the world?
Oh, I don't know if it's the most popular joke in the world, but...
It seems like I hear somebody say tongue punch and then the rest of that weekly.
Yeah, it's big. It is. One other joke about the Costco plastic lids that have an opening shaped like a penis plus testicles. Make eye contact with other men at the food court while sipping.
Gotta do that.
Nor did Jesus reminds us that not only is there no such thing as an environment, the sun is not a monster. Well, it took us a while to realize it, but you're right. The sun is not a monster.
Could have fooled you. You were terrified for years. Terrified of the sun. All right, I know I lose my cool on this here program sometimes. I get aggravated. One of the more common ways that I get aggravated is when we talk about all the ass bag effing crooks and violent jag-offs that we cover in our stupid news report. I normally hate these people. I do. But it happened, Josh. One of the ass bag criminals had to go ahead and make me fall in love with him.
Well, you like a good scam. You've said that for a long time. You've always appreciated a good scam.
I have. Always loved a good scam. As long as nobody's getting hurt, I admire a good scam. So that's a big part of why I fell in love with a 55-year-old man named Jose Alvarez. I fell in love with a bad boy, Cubby.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
It happens, Nick. It's okay.
He put together something very unique. He's from down south, Summers. He's looking at a felony charge for what he's been doing the last couple of years. Alvarez was caught by police. He was, quote, impersonating a pizzeria. Jose. Did I mention his name is Jose Alvarez?
You did.
He had an elaborate, bizarre scam. He did. okay, impersonating a pizzeria. You folks say pizzeria, which is cute. He'd go to hotels in his neighborhood and post up flyers pretending to be a real local pizzeria. So let's say the neighborhood pizza joint was Farts Pizza, right?
Yum.
He would put up flyers saying, call Farts Pizza, and it's delicious stuff, right? But instead of the real pizza joint's number, he'd print his phone number on the flyers. So then his phone would start ringing. People are making orders. They think they're ordering from Farts Pizza. They're not. They're calling my new boyfriend, Jose Alvarez. He answers the phone. He makes the pizzas, and then he delivers them. Odd, isn't it? I mean, it seems like a lot of work.
It does.
It seems like enough work to where you might actually just go ahead and open your own pizzeria. But apparently, he just wanted to use the other place's name and reputation and then just go ahead and make really cheap, really bad pizzas.
He's an ultimate hater.
Why do you call him a hater?
Because that's such a hate move. Like, he just wants them to look so bad.
Ruining their reputation.
I don't think he was looking to ruin anyone's reputation. He was just using their name to make him some money.
But
that's the way I look. Well, of course, in turn, it's going to ruin their reputation.
Yeah, people trusted this place.
Yeah.
Roman's Pizzeria.
I mean, are you guys trying to talk me out of my new boyfriend or what?
I don't want you to get hurt, okay?
In the long run, of course, it ruins the pizza joint's reputation, but this is just a shortcut to making some money is the way I look at it.
Can you imagine you're the actual proprietor going, what the hell, man?
Right.
Why me?
Why?
And that's what happened. So Jose was doing this for years before the real pizzeria finally realized what was happening and had the police track the guy down. The real pizza joint had been getting strange complaints, bad reviews, couldn't figure out what the hell was happening. And they're thinking, well, Christ, that sausage and onion pizza that we just, it looked delicious on the way out. Why are we getting phone calls saying this pizza sucked? It looked like it was put together by a 4-year-old. Well, this is why. Because my guy, Jose, was sloppily putting them together in his friggin' apartment. He was charged with organized scheme to defraud. Also, I mean, I'm going to have a talk with Jose about this because I'm not going to date a violent man. I'm not. I want a gentle, sensitive man. He did.
Josh has entered the chat. Continue.
Yeah. I don't know. We've been friends for so long. Do you think it would ruin our relationship if we started banging?
Yeah, I don't want to risk it.
No, I don't either. Well, let's just have one night. What could that hurt?
Hand stuff. We'll leave it at that.
All
Hand
right.
stuff.
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
not as intimate. I mean, we're on our way, but it's just, we could recover from that.
I think so, too. Jose did do something violent on the way out. He did. And I'm upset. I'm disappointed in him for this. When he was busted, I guess he was hanging out at a hotel when he was busted by the cops. He fled the police, and he did hit a hotel staff member with his car.
Oh, that's not cool.
He's going to jail. I love you, Jose Alvarez. I'll wait for you. That is such a hilarious, brilliant, adorable scam that he pulled off. He's busting his ass back at his apartment, making these terrible pizzas. And then, here you go. Thanks for calling Farts Pizza. And raking in the bucks.
Him hitting the person with his vehicle reminds me of one of my least favorite memories of working here and one of the more embarrassing moments, I think, of working at this dump. Remember the coworker we had? We were at an event, and he got really drunk.
Oh, no.
You know, and sadly, it wasn't like I'm trying to have a good time drunk. I want everybody to know I'm the party guy. That's why I'm going to do this to myself.
Yes, he wanted everyone to know that he's the party guy. And then that party drunk turned into the angry, ugly, disgusting drunk. I mean, it was horrible. The shape that this guy was in by 10 o'clock was straight up disgusting.
And again, it's sad. It's not just somebody that went out and had a little too good of a time, just I overdid it. It was on purpose, just so they could have that reputation. And he decides to get behind the wheel, and he crashes into the front of the establishment we're having, almost takes out a bouncer.
We had a little party at this establishment. He crashes his car into the entrance of the establishment.
And one would think you'd get out and be like, what have I done? I've made a terrible mistake. I feel awful. I'm so embarrassed. This is, our radio station is promoting this thing. I've embarrassed the radio station. But instead, he gets out. He's like basically out of training day going, the King Kong ain't got nothing on me, saying, I run this place.
Yeah.
I'm the man, all that kind of stuff. And he's lucky they didn't kill him.
Oh, yeah.
I guess one bouncer had to hold another bouncer back because he was ready to beat the pulp out of him.
Oh, my gosh.
The bouncer says to him when he gets out of his car, after crashing his car into the establishment, the bouncer says, what the hell's wrong with you, man? What are you doing? And the guy, I run this. This is my party. I run this place. I can do what I want, man. This is because of me. I did this. This party is for me.
Yeah.
This is a real live human being.
That was really embarrassing.
Oh, my God.
Did he get fired for that?
Nope.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to get fired around here at times.
Those were back. That was back in the day when you more or less had to murder somebody around here to get canned. Now they hand out, is it pink slips? I wouldn't know. I'm too good. Was that what they call it?
I think they give you like a knapsack and a couple of bumper stickers.
Isn't that the joke? Here's your pink slip.
Yeah, here's your pink slip.
Oh, yeah. Now they hand out pinks. They'll probably hand one of you guys one today.
If Nick gets his way.
What time is it? All right. Here's a warning to keep you aware of how fragile we can be. I'll tell you right now, you never know what might send your sad ass to the emergency room. A dude, not an old-timer, a 35-year-old. He went ahead and broke the hardest bone in the human body while coughing. He broke his femur.
Whoa. I saw a guy, this was so good. He was sitting at like a counter, right? Bar height, but it was a counter at like a deli. And we were there, and he's like, hey, we got to check out this local deli. We go there, and he sneezed so hard, he smashed his face into it. Not you bang!
Oh, that must have been awesome to see.
Oh, it was so, he was fine. But I've never seen anything like that.
That's great.
He's like, what? Have you seen that where somebody winds up?
Oh, yes.
They hit their head back and go forward.
Yes. I was just going to say, I've only seen that once in my life, and it was from a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old.
Oh, you've seen that too?
A little kid sneezed, and, of course, his head went forward, and he rang his skull off the table, and everybody in the room had a great time with it. But this was a grown person.
It's a grown man.
So he says, let's get out of here, and he sneezes, and he smashes his...
Right, yeah. Right into his Cobb salad or whatever it was. Oh, man, that was awesome.
By the way,
I needed that.
Oh, I wish I would have been there.
Story, I needed that.
You know what I saw this morning on the internet? Bread. Where is it? I wrote it down. Bread smashing or bread. I think it's called bread facing or bread smashing. Are you guys aware of this?
No.
Nope.
God dang it! Now I got to pull this up again and find out. I can't remember the term. I'll be with you in just a minute, and then I'll tell you more about this poor bastard who broke his femur while coughing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I thought I would get it by now.
Bread face?
Bread face. Yes. Yes, bread face. Thank you, Josh. I saw a series of videos. It looked like it starred the same young lady, and she's sitting at a table, and there's a loaf of bread on the table, and she just slowly bends forward and smashes her face into the bread until it's all smashed. Not hard, not like rapid fire, like a Rockstar BJ or anything like that. It's just slowly lower your face and smash the bread. And the videos then evolve into smashing cake and donuts and muffins and
dough balls.
Dough balls. This is the hot new thing. You heard it here first. You guys, I'm always on top of all the latest TikTok dances and things. You'll credit me for this when bread facing becomes the hottest thing on the internet. Look it up if you'd like. See what you think. All right, so this guy, 35-year-old guy, broke his femur while coughing. And the femur is widely considered the hardest or the second hardest bone in the human body. And this guy lives in China, but he managed to break his femur by coughing. Mr. Yi is the name. Breaking leg bones is his game. He had a coughing fit. Told doctors he felt a sharp pain immediately after a strong cough, but he thought it was a cramp in his leg. But then the pain really kicked in. His leg was broke. The fact that it was only a cough that broke the bone ski got the doctors wondering what the hell was going on. They tested his bone density, and they found out there were some problems there. Mr. Yi's bone density at 35 years old was similar to that of an 80-year-old man.
Man. Guy must have never had a glass of milk or walked on a treadmill in his life.
Honestly, take a calcium supplement or something, man.
Here we go. Now, here's where some of you are going to get nervous. Doctors came to the conclusion that he simply had incredibly fragile bones as a result of his Coca-Cola drinking habits.
Uh-oh, Wapple.
Poor diet and lack of exercise. How do I say that? Exercise. He was just a garbage disposal that sits on his ass 24/7. And we all know a few of those if we aren't one of those ourselves. The doctors chewed him out and sent him out of there on crutches and said, do something with your life, for Christ's sake. You're 35, you got the bone density. You don't do anything. You just sit there and drink cola, and your diet sucks, and you don't do anything.
My wife's into
and then
fitness.
He died.
Oh, no.
No.
I wasn't expecting that. My wife's into fitness. The Luther Bloomington Kia text line is 651-989-9393. So that's what she does. She's an instructor and all that kind of stuff. And she's stretched me once or twice in the 2 decades I've known her. And she mentions that...
She has stretched you?
That's part... She does that, right, for clients. She'll stretch them. That's part of what she does.
So like you lay on your back and she pulls your knees up to your nose and all that?
That kind of thing, right.
Oh, that's got to be nice.
She said, well, it's nice enough that I've done it 2 times in 2 decades.
What if he stretched on the wife?
Nothing. I leave her greatly disappointed.
Oh, no.
Have you heard of gaping? Anyways, so she told me that my flexibility is less than clients she has in their 60s and over. She has a client in her 80s who's more flexible than I am.
That's alarming. Start doing some stretches, Josh.
Don't tell me what to... I'm sorry, Ashley. You didn't
I
deserve
would
it.
bet that my stretching limits are comparable to yours. I've never stretched for anything in my entire life.
I would pretend. Wow. Remember when you had to do it in gym class? I would just
Yeah.
kind of sit there and pretend like I had done it. I hate stretching.
Am I the only one on the show that can touch their toes?
I think I can.
I can.
I cannot.
I could probably touch yours. I could probably touch Josh's. I'm not going to touch my own. No. Yeah, Josh is right now bending at the waist while standing and trying to touch his toe. Well, Christ, you're already you're touching the ground.
Good job, Josh.
Thank you.
Now, stretching is for suckers.
I think it feels nice.
You do?
Yeah.
I think it's for suckers and it's overrated. Remember that scene from Family Guy where Peter and the boys are loading up for their beer league softball game, and this isn't a direct quote, but Peter says, "Did everyone stretch?" And they all said no, and he said, "Good. There's nothing that an over 40-year-old body loves more than sudden violent movements. Let's get out there, boys." Stretching. What am I? What am I? A ninja? What am I? A yoga instructor? No, never going to happen. All right, we got to get the hell out of here. Do I got time for one more?
Why not?
This could happen to you too. Okay, we just talked about the guy who coughed and his leg broke in half. This could be something too, and then your eyes fall out. A 21-year-old kid in Malaysia, he had to have damn cornea transplant surgery because he's been rubbing his eyes excessively for most of his life.
Oh, there's nothing that feels better than a good eye rub. I think especially I think it's even better for girls because you can't do it when you're wearing makeup. So then when you're not wearing makeup and you can finally just get at your eyes, that feels good.
I never thought of that.
I don't, so like emo bands and girls, you're saying, would have difficulty there?
Yeah.
I've never, outside of when I've got a wicked itch or something, I guess I'm not a regular eye rubber that I've noticed.
Yeah.
You are, though, Ashley?
Oh, yeah. Probably a
Is
little
it the
bit
makeup?
too much.
Does the makeup make you itchy?
Yeah, sometimes it can.
All right, so this young feller's name is Mohammed Zabidi. Again, 21 years old, from Malaysia. Had to have cornea transplant surgery because he just can't stop fingering his eye sockets. He's had allergies as long as he can remember. As a child, he would rub his eyes until they turned red. But it wasn't until he was a teenager that it became a serious problem. At 15 years old, he started experiencing blurred vision in his right eye. Things only got worse. That's not how a grown person would say it. Things only got worse as he got older. He finally decided to see an eye doctor. He was told that he had severely scratched his corneas due to his constant eye rubbing, and now he needed new corneas in order to regain his vision. That's hilarious.
I'm a little nervous now.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
They got a quote here from Mohammed Zabidi. He said, "Since I was a child, I liked rubbing my eyes." Yeah, you did, brother. You did.
I guess so.
Almost rubbed him right out of your skull.
So the doctors told him he'll be able to make a full recovery, but they had to, sew his eyes shut for a couple of months. I know a guy who has recently gone through that. They had to sew one of his eyes shut for...
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah, I think at first it was 2 months, and then after that, maybe they sewed it shut again for a month because of some eye surgery. He looked ridiculous, and he never knew where anyone was coming from.
I'll bet that's tough.
We could sneak up on him real easy. So, but in case you're worried about your own corneas, it says here now, make sure you don't set your stupid smartphone display brightness too high. Apparently that can make you blind within hours.
Remember when your parents said if you watch too much TV, you'd go blind?
Or if you sit too close to it?
Yeah. Equestrian Jesus, she sent in a photo of her stretching. I don't know how somebody is that flexible.
I can't do that.
So you saw the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Is she in a bikini?
No, she's not in a bikini.
Is she wearing yoga clothes?
I think those are...
Those would be considered yoga pants.
Yoga
yeah.
or leggings?
Is she wearing a wildly oversized white tank top?
No.
What?
We got to get out of here. We'll take a break and do some sports when we come back on the program.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I am already not smart, and I don't read any books. I don't do it, and I think that matters. I do think that matters. Reading, I believe, is the key to smart. That's what I've always said, and I don't do it because every book is just the most words. It doesn't let up. Every page is more words. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, I want to learn more about history because I don't know anything. And I can tell I don't know anything about history because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is going to happen? I don't know. I watched the movie Pearl Harbor, and I was as surprised as they were.
Is that guy?
Yeah, that's that guy.
Nate Bargatze.
And I know
That's the guy everybody's crazy about?
Oh, he's so awesome.
He's great.
That's the guy?
I'm not familiar with them. These clips that Wapple's playing, this is the first I've heard. That's the guy.
You guys haven't heard any jokes in a while, or what?
Hater.
Anybody else going? I know Randy and Brad are both going.
No, I wish. I'm busy.
No. I had tickets, but I had to give them away if something came up. But otherwise, I've seen him before, and he is absolutely hilarious.
That guy?
Yes, that guy.
Yeah, his specials are really good.
I'm just horsing around. I'm picking on you guys because everyone's been whacking off to this comic. On this program, suddenly this became the Blake Malazzi program. I'm sure he's very, very funny. I'm just busting your chops trying to piss you off. Oh, God, Josh.
I think it worked. For the record, I think it worked.
Yeah, they get all quiet over there.
I was looking in the studio, and I think that was very effective.
Yeah, they're not that smart over there. They don't know what I'm kidding.
That's not true.
Oh, God. Hey, the Twins and St. Louis Cardinals are going to scrap this weekend at Target Field. Sonny Gray will be on the bump at one point or another for St. Louis, I believe. Tonight, Game 1 is at 7 o'clock. We do have a Dad Fights trivia contest prepared for Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Should we go through with it?
I don't see why not.
Should we go through
I've been looking forward to this one for sure.
Randy and
But
Brad.
I also don't mind putting it off to the following week because that's less work next Thursday night.
Putting it off to the following week.
Yeah.
Because
Didn't think about that
then
one.
we don't
He's on to something here.
then we don't have to do the preparation next week.
Right, and we could get
I'm
credit.
sorry I said anything.
We should get credit because we have completed. It's ready to go.
It is. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's think about this. Think about this very, very hard.
It's like one of those when you had speech class and it's like, all right, which day do you want to go? Everyone has their speeches done, but you're like, I'm going to wait till the last day.
We never had to do that.
Really?
Thank goodness.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. When you do what?
That's such
we had
group experience.
we had group ones, but never like us. I know what you're talking about because my kids had to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
They write.
It would last like 3 days, and you're just sitting there listening to speeches. You're like, okay, mine's coming up.
I was the loser that always went like the first day.
Get it out of the way.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
I must have napped through this, or maybe I was at a
wanna get it done.
Nate Bargatze show.
You got it.
Hey, you got it. Wow.
What's
Yeah, we
happening
knew
now?
you'd be a fan.
7:30. We'll ask the boys if Brad and Randy want to scrap. We got to scrap for them. We got to take a break. Josh's news is coming up next.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930. Now ran by his granddaughter, Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show.
Tucker Carlson, what is it that you think that people gravitate
I'm not
towards?
self-aware. I refuse to be self-aware. I don't even look in mirrors at all, which you can probably tell from my appearance. I don't have a crazy high IQ, or I really don't have that many skills. I would say my main skill is I believe my instincts. I don't hesitate to follow my instincts, ever. To the extent that I have, I've gotten in trouble.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The cul-de-sac was completely filled with ambulance, police cars, unmarked vehicles.
At first, I thought it was an animal attacking another animal. And then I thought, well, that sounds like a woman's voice.
Even your worst enemy, you wouldn't think would do something like that.
3 Florida residents were arrested for being hired to carry out an acid attack on a woman in New Jersey last month.
Sounds pretty mean.
Yeah. It's just another one of those stories where a person just couldn't let it go. July 26th, police responded after a 42-year-old woman was attacked right after getting home from work. As the victim opened her door, an unknown woman approached her and threw a cup of liquid straight at her.
Oh, God.
After an investigation, police managed to trace the getaway car back to 2 suspects, and they said the attackers were hired by 49-year-old William DiBernardino, who had a past relationship with the victim and couldn't get over it.
An acid attack was his solution.
That's what he decided to do.
Gotcha.
Yes. The woman was airlifted to a burn center where she's still being treated.
Son of a bitch.
A 34-year-old Florida mom is facing charges after deciding to relive her high school glory days by jumping into a brawl between her teenage daughter and other students at their bus stop.
Oh, you dummy.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, for everybody involved.
Yeah.
The daughter had beef with another teen and, in true high school fashion, decided to duke it out after getting off the bus.
If you teach them the way to solve a disagreement is a fight, at some point they're going to end up in a jail.
Catherine Stephanopoulos was waiting at the bus stop after being told by her child about the fight. Once the brawl began, the mother jumped in instead of trying to break it up.
She watches a little bit, then decides to get herself involved, and then it turns into 2 fights.
In a flash of full-fledged folly, Stephanopoulos careened into the chaos when fists started flying. At one point, the mom had the other girl in a headlock, but the move backfired, and she ended up on the ground.
I was hoping she got her ass beat.
Yo, not the mom, one witness shouted as the scene fractured into full-on fight club. To add to the madness, a second fight broke out between the daughter and a male student who tried unsuccessfully to stop the initial brawl. How did this even get started, bruh? One kid asked in the video, echoing what we all were wondering. And because it's 2024, things escalated when a popular Stanley Cup made an appearance, not for hydration, but as a weapon.
Oh, no.
Oh, not the hockey thing.
Dude, those things are huge, too.
A Stanley
a water
brand.
bottle.
Okay.
Did she just hit her with a Stanley Cup? One stunned student asked. Clearly as confused as the rest of us. Yes, she did, another confirmed, while a third chimed in with, that's crazy. Everyone involved walk away with only minor injuries and a healthy dose of embarrassment, especially for Stephanopoulos, who was arrested days later, and she said she is embarrassed by her actions.
Sounds like a fake name.
I know a couple of parents who probably would jump in for the same reason we were discussing a day or two ago, where they just are completely oblivious and are convinced that their child can do absolutely no wrong. I know a couple parents who probably would have jumped in on that scene as well.
So not a jump in to break it up, a jump in to get in on the action?
Yes.
Yeah, they miss it.
Mm-hmm.
A 36-year-old California woman found herself behind bars Wednesday after she was caught on video screaming and throwing punches at a Los Angeles County firefighter, only to top it off by crashing into an undercover cop. The bizarre encounter supposedly started when the firefighter tried to help Jessica Chavez after seeing her in a fight with an unidentified man. Clearly, Chavez didn't take kindly to the assistance. The firefighter, calmly trying to defuse the situation, could be heard saying, we're with the fire department, but we called the police. Apparently, this triggered Chavez for some reason.
Oh, yeah. You said the wrong thing.
Yeah. She decided smacking the vehicle and throwing punches through the open window was the appropriate response to somebody trying to help.
Right.
After some quality road raging, she finally headed back to her own vehicle, which, by the way, was blocking traffic. She just don't care. The firefighter followed and informed her they were calling 911. But instead of driving off like a normal person, Chavez decided to circle the block and made a grand return, speeding down the street before slamming into both the fire truck and an undercover cop car.
It's over for her.
Yeah, she's in trouble for some while. Just a heads up, there's some sirens in this clip.
I thought when she was going to drive off, she was going to drive off, and that was that. Maybe a police chase or something would ensue after that, but no, I was shocked the fact that she decided to even go back and hit the car.
Chavez.
Am I being pulled over, or were there sirens?
There were sirens.
Okay.
I should have said something. I apologize.
Yeah. Give us a heads up.
I clearly didn't say anything, and I apologize. Chavez was promptly arrested on a trifecta of charges: assault on a firefighter, assault with a deadly weapon, and driving under the influence.
She sounds like one of those people where when they get angry, there's just no talking them down.
Yeah.
And again, they were trying to help.
Yeah.
They saw her in a fight with a guy, and a firefighter's like, hey, we're here to help.
When you catch her in the wrong mood, there's just no talking her out of it.
No, she's, I bet she's never been wrong in her mind. Never once.
No.
By the way, speaking of crushing crime, shout out to Southside Jesus listening this morning. A 40-year-old Detroit area doctor's been charged with using hidden cameras to secretly film women and children at the hospital where he worked over a period of 6 years, in a case police called Depravity with No Limits. He spied on people in changing rooms, closets, bathrooms, and bedrooms at hospitals and a local swim club. This is one of the most disturbing cases I've seen in my very long career, Sheriff Michael Bouchard told a press conference yesterday. He violates literally anyone and everyone he can, from a 2-year-old boy to grown women. No one's immune from his disgusting predatory behavior.
There's nobody that's out of bounds for this sick activity. This individual potentially is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Detectives received a tip about the deviant doctor's behavior August 7th and raided his home the next day, seizing 6 computers, 4 cell phones, and 15 external storage devices.
Wonder how his wife and kids are dealing with it.
Oh, gosh. I would change my last name.
Yeah. New identity altogether.
Just one device, one of those devices, had 13,000 videos dating back 6 years.
I'm just imagining the possibly hundreds of patients of his that are seeing this story and what they're feeling now. Our medical professionals, we go to them in our most vulnerable states, and we expect that there's going to be some level of trust there and ethics that we don't even have to fathom something like this happening.
Detectives estimate it'll take at least 6 months to fully examine all of his seized devices. There's that many pictures and videos on there.
They gotta look at all that sickness.
Oh.
You know, that's something you don't think of, right?
That would be the worst part.
I've heard from cops who, like, you know, certain departments, maybe all departments, I guess, I'm not sure. Though, you know, you rotate through, right? You do this for a little while, this. And I've heard from people who do the digital crimes, where they see child porn and stuff like that, it's miserable.
It makes them crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
People don't necessarily want to do that very long for, you can imagine why.
You spend all day long looking into the darkest.
Oh.
Or like if there's gross videos online, nowhere near that, just, like that, but you can look away where their job is to look. They have to watch this.
It's evidence.
Or like the people that have to listen to the recordings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be bad, too.
Just like 911 dispatchers and stuff.
Yeah, or even like you have to listen to like serial killer audio or something like that. Like they killed people with drills and they have audio of it and you have to listen to that.
I love that you're thinking of the ways they killed people.
Well, I can't remember who it was, but I was listening to a Chris Jericho podcast and they had these crime scene investigator guys on. And they said that the serial killer would kill people with like power drills and weird tools. And they would record it, so they had to listen to all that audio.
Oh, yeah, that's traumatizing.
They said it just changes a person.
I just want to watch videos of a dog on a Roomba and a cat on that dog on that Roomba.
Yeah.
One of the unluckiest people in the UK was recently stung 160 times by a swarm of wasps. 57-year-old Andrew Powell said he's lucky to be alive after the sky turned brown, quote unquote, with wasps before they attacked him in mass. I stumbled around the front of the house and into the shower. They followed me in and stung me through my clothes, Powell said. The nasty insects got riled up after a farmer's combine disturbed their nest in a field near the man's home. Somehow he survived, but said he was dropping in and out of consciousness, adding, all I could see was a white light, and I thought, here we go. A spokesperson for the British Pest Control Association said being stung by one wasp isn't normally dangerous, but 30 or 40 stings could kill you. Powell was stung 160 times.
A friggin' combine bashed into the nest. I mean, that'll piss them off big time.
And they just went for the closest guy.
Yeah, yep.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
5 years ago here in the States, a man in Texas was stung over 160 times by a swarm of bees and barely survived. Here's a random wasp fact for you. They're nature's pest control experts. They hunt and eat lots of insects, including crop-damaging pests like caterpillars, aphids, and spiders. In fact, some farmers even welcome wasps to help keep the pest populations down.
There also was a rumor when they were playing on the Sunset Strip that their name stood for We Are Sexual Perverts.
Oh, I did not know that.
That was before they released their first record.
Oh, yeah, so before F Like a Beast?
No,
that
F
song
Like a
came
Beast.
out?
That was, yes,
Before
exactly.
that song came
Before
out?
that song came out, Animal F Like a Beast.
The early reviews for Francis Ford Coppola's new film Megalopolis aren't great. The latest attempt to drum up some excitement isn't great either.
This is a killer creature, the Megalopolis?
No, it's not. It's about well, I'll explain in a second. But it backfired in a big way, how they decided to portray the movie's bad reviews. There was a trailer that premiered Wednesday, but Lionsgate quickly had to pull it back, with Lionsgate putting their tail between their legs to issue an awkward apology. What happened was the trailer featured a narrator claiming true genius is often misunderstood. One filmmaker has always been ahead of his time. Then they flashed what appeared to be harsh critiques of his legendary films, like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, supposedly from critics like Roger Ebert. But viewers on social media were quick to spot the negative reviews were fake and probably came from a bad ChatGPT result. Megalopolis is set in a crumbling city called New Rome. It's scheduled for release September 27th. The cast includes big names like Adam Driver, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, John Voight, and Dustin Hoffman. The trailer is just the latest hiccup in a bumpy road for the movie. The film, which is a long-awaited passion project for the 85-year-old director, has also been dogged by behind-the-scenes chaos. Rumors swirled that Coppola behaved inappropriately with topless performers in one scene and was seen retreating to his trailer to smoke weed. On top of that, he lost his entire art department due to a mix of firings and resignations.
Well, that doesn't sound good. So it's like a big dinosaur creature that runs through the streets killing everybody?
No.
It's the Megalopolis?
No.
Is it a winged creature? Does it have wings?
Nope. None of that.
Like a big monkey?
Well, I haven't seen it. I guess so. Maybe it does have that, like it's a cameo. What the hell's King Kong doing in there?
Hey, there he
That
is.
would be awesome.
Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be, though? Oh, wait. None of those famous critics said any of that? That was all made up? So they had to pull that trailer. In theaters this week, Lionsgate, the new adaptation of The Crow. That one looks good, starring Bill Skarsgård. They can
big giant bird that just picking people off.
Soulmates Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are brutally murdered when the demons of a dark past catch up with them. Draven returns to seek bloody revenge against the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put things right. Also on the big screen, Channing Tatum and former child actor Haley Joel Osmond, the kid who saw dead people in The Sixth Sense.
Oh, no.
This is a crime thriller called Blink Twice. When a tech billionaire meets a cocktail waitress at a fundraiser, he invites her to join him and his friends for a dream vacation on his private island. But when strange things start to happen, the waitress must uncover the truth to make it out alive. Blink Twice marks the directing debut for Zoe Kravitz, the daughter of singer Lenny Kravitz and actress Lisa Bonet. Then streaming on Peacock, an English-language reimagining of the 1989 action thriller of the same name, The Killer. Once again directed by the famed John Woo, but this time starring Natalie Emmanuel, Sam Worthington, and Omar Sy. When a feared contract killer refuses to murder a young blind woman on the orders of her handler, she finds herself hunted by old colleagues and a determined detective. And making its streaming premiere on Max today, Kevin Costner's Western Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 1.
Oh, everyone said that was just a pile of garbage.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I'll watch it now that it's on Max, but yeah, I have not heard one good thing about it.
And I felt bad. You guys were so excited, Josh and Wapple, for this.
Yeah, I was.
Yep, we were looking forward to it, but we'll give it a shot. Give it a shot on Max.
Report back to Wapple.
Yeah.
All right, well, then I'm not going to watch it either.
Fine, I'll watch it for you guys.
Rob Halford from Judas Priest, 73 Sunday.
Rob Halford.
Gene Simmons of Kiss will be 75.
That's disappointing for Rob Halford that they share the same birthday.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think he wakes up and goes, yay, it's my... Oh,
it's Gene Simmons'
birthday? That's that friggin' guy from Kiss that won't shut up. It's his birthday, too.
Tomorrow, Dave Chappelle turns 51. Retired NBA All-Star Reggie Miller, 59. Celebrity birthdays today, Shelley Long and Rick Springfield, both 75.
I bet you they've done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, I'd take on either one of them.
Yeah, no
both
kidding.
Sexy AF. Shout out to I Swear I'm 19 Jesus from Mom, Badass Mother Jesus, and Varner Heating Jesus text in a shout out to his smoke show of a wife, Sleep Center Medical Assistant Jesus. Original Banker Jesus checked in to wish his wife, Mrs. Original Banker Jesus, a happy wedding anniversary for tomorrow. Happy birthday to Mark, turning 12 tomorrow from Mom and Dad, Vertically Challenged Jesus and former radio guy Jesus. Happy 31st to Chugged Up Plumber Jesus, and that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
You can see he had his nice big tentacles that are sticking out, and he's got a rigorous training program, and he loves his green leaves, so we feed him plenty of nice green leaves.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I don't know how to work out. I ordered the P90X videos. I thought I could do that. Never worked out a day in my life, so let's do what the Navy SEALs do. You know why I ordered it? Because in the commercial, you know they have like a before body and after body? I was blown away by the before body. I thought that's what you get to look like. I was like, that guy looks great. I would love to look like him. Then I saw the after body. I was like, does the before body guy have a DVD? That guy seems more my speed.
All right, here we go. Friday broadcast. It's a big day, by God, for our radio show. Let's make Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder a part of our big day. Good morning, boys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's a big day because as soon as we wrap up this year radio program, we're going to pile into a motor vehicle together and make an appearance at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. We welcome listeners to swing by. I think we'll show up around 10 a.m. if you're going to the fair. Stop by, say hello. Our motto again this year, buy something and get out.
What's your motto this year?
Or better yet, buy something for you guys and get out.
Buy something for Josh. Get him something to eat, for Christ's sake. Look at him. He's withering away.
I'm body shamed a lot lately.
Get him something or another to eat. Look at just how fragile you look.
Right.
It's funny, there was a couple people last year that were jokingly like, well, looks like I bought something and I got to get out. Or somebody came up to me and they're like, trust me, I'm going to buy something. I just wanted to say hi real quick. I'll get in line and buy something.
I'm there to pad my friggin' bank account because I get a cut of that merch. So buy something, a couple cute comments, and then move on. Make room for someone else to buy something.
You know, secretly, the company probably loves that you're doing this, don't you think?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yep. They probably do.
There's somebody with, sitting behind an adding machine thinking, oh, thank God. Radio's not bringing in the bucks it used to.
You know, speaking of the fair, we've been busting Randy's balls, a little bit this week about how much he disliked working at the Minnesota State Fair, and we've been celebrating the fact that he never has to do that again if he does not want to.
That is true.
Got a text message here from Slipped Disc Jesus. Great idea, Slipped Disc Jesus. And I bet you Randy will be all over this. He says it would be great if next year, before the fair, you guys, meaning us here on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show, we raise a large pile of monies for Randy's Cancer Foundation and then insist on presenting him the big cardboard check during an appearance at the Minnesota State Fair, just to force him to go back there again.
You know what? For that, I would do that.
I know you would.
Here's Randy live via satellite to accept the check. And we, push this check by a screen, and then Randy pulls the check on his side.
It's really funny you say that, Josh, because I bought one of those green screens because I do some Zoom interviews now for my podcast.
Oh, nice.
So I could put the state fair behind me and pretend like I'm at the state fair.
That's awesome.
Or we get you all the way out to the state fair. And all right, Randy, here's your check. It's for $4.83. That's how much we raised, everybody. Let's hear it.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you, along those lines, I went to a concert, and I was very excited. This is back when I was a huge Will Smith fan. He was one of my favorites. As an actor, songs were fun, too. But
Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith.
You used to love Will Smith.
Yeah, one of my favorite actors at the time.
And you went to see him where?
I went to see, where was it? Maybe it was Target Center? I can't remember.
To see him sing songs?
It was a bunch of people were performing.
Oh.
A big festival.
Like a 90s type of a revival, maybe?
Yeah, just
TLC was
all
there.
The hot, everybody who was hot at that time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, all right, Will Smith's coming out, and I couldn't wait. I've never seen him live. And here he is, and he was on via satellite. And he checked in and did one song.
Oh, no.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, he was performing somewhere else.
He got jiggy with it?
Yeah, and he's like, hey, Minneapolis, here I am in Denver or whatever, and we're going to sing a song for you. And that's all it was.
You were hoping to see the Fresh Prince in the flesh and blood.
Yeah, I wanted to see a whole set.
What a ripoff.
It was a ripoff.
But I don't know. Was there anyone else at the event that made up for that Will Smith shortcoming?
It wasn't really music I was into. I was pretty excited to see him, though.
Who else was hot in the early 90s? We were just talking about this stuff a few days ago. So I know, Randy Shaver, I know you would go back to the fair if it meant providing some dollars for your Cancer Research Foundation. But we would, what do they call it in the business, Josh? We would send out a press release. So then Randy would have to make an appearance on every local television news show. Channel 4, Channel 9, even though what's the one no one watches? Channel 11. You'd have to make an appearance on. So, yes, you're pleased to receive the money, but it's like you're working again.
I know you're joking, but there was just an article that they haven't explained why yet, but there's actually been a real big ratings boost at Channel 11 in the last month or so.
Yes.
It's just really taken off.
I read about that.
Actually, I wonder maybe could we do some sort of – we put a bucket out or something for people to throw cash in for Randy? I guess I don't know what rules are with –
Today?
Yeah, just starting today and just leave it out there.
Well,
Randy, do you know, are there rules?
I hate to be the guy who has to keep an eye on that bucket.
I'll tell you Yeah, really. I couldn't tell you if the state fair has rules about that or not.
Yes, we'd have to find out. Yeah, the bucket is attached to a vacuum, which is attached to Nick's wallet.
I'll never forget one time, and this must have been 10 years ago or so, that I had to go out to the fair for some work reason, for some Timberwolves reason, and I don't remember what it was. I had to drop something off at the Care Barn, and I walked in, and so then I went kind of, the backstage area and saw Julie's all chipper and, happy and talking, and we're catching up, and Belinda is, and I look over in the corner, and there's Randy just looking like his dog disappeared. And I'm like, I walked over to you, and I said, is everything okay? Yeah, I just don't like being here.
What about in the beginning, Randy? Did you like it your first couple of years, or did you always?
Well, Josh, the reason why I liked it the first couple of years is that
we never had to drive over the fair. They would fly us over in the helicopter.
Oh, sweet.
And land us in the grandstand and then golf cart us to our place.
Talk about a friggin' ego boost. My God.
I never had to walk through any place. It was just amazing.
They're acting like the Eagles on the Hotel California tour.
Never dealt with the traffic or anything.
We thought it was pretty bougie when they'd give us a parking pass. We don't get that anymore. I remember thinking, oh, sweet, we can just go and park and not have to worry about
Josh has a rap about traffic.
Well, that's your rap. I don't want to take that from you.
Oh, man. Anyway.
But every time I see a Ford Maverick, I think of that rap.
Right.
I can't help it. It's ruined me.
Well, yeah, 10 a.m. we'll be out there this morning, right around 10 a.m. We'll stick around for a couple hours, buy something, get out. Well, I'm hoping some foxy ladies swing by. Randy Shaver, you mentioned your podcast. How's that going? Has it been a lot of work?
Well, it's work, but it's work that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So
you're doing sports again.
Yeah, when you're doing what you love to do, it's not. Yeah, I'm putting time into it, but it's time that I enjoy doing. So it's going really well. To be honest with you, it's the first venture by Talk North to do a podcast that's video, and so you see
that's
everything.
Video.
Yeah, it's not just you just don't listen to it. You can watch it.
Yeah, I guess you're explaining it to the last guy you should try to explain that to.
Well, I'm just saying the podcast is on YouTube. You can actually watch. You can see the people.
Oh,
you
really?
don't just have to listen. Yeah. So
I know how to look at YouTube. I don't know how to dial up a podcast. So I'll try that. I'll try that style. Well, when are Josh or I going to be guests on your podcast? We've had you as a guest on our show every year. How do I say this? Every day for 20-some years.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna pop a blood vessel.
Bust a
he
spring.
is going to pop one. Wow.
What? You don't feel the same passion about this program, Ashley?
No. The prerequisite, Nick, is that you would have had to have been a football player.
Oh,
so
right here, Randy.
Yeah, well, why do we have? That's the prerequisite.
The prerequisite is you had to be a football player.
They gave me a jersey and a helmet, Randy. It counts, okay?
That's the prerequisite on this show too. But we've had you on for 20-some years. Prerequisite is how you say it.
Can you give out people are saying, wait, Randy has a podcast. Can you give out all the information so folks can tune in?
I have a high school football podcast that started the end of July. It comes out every Monday night, Tuesday morning. It's on Talk North. Talk North is the company that Jim Suhan started from the Star Trib, and they've got a number of different people that are on it. But you can also find if you just go to YouTube and type in Shaver Prep Football Podcast, it'll pop up, and then you'll be able to watch it. Like, for example, my first show, I had John Randall on with Dwight Lundeen, the head coach at Becker.
Mm-hmm.
I had this last week, I have Evan Hull, the running back from the Indianapolis Colts, who played at Maple Grove.
Maple Grove.
Yep. Next week, Quint Carroll from the Gophers is on with a couple of high school football players from around the state. And I interviewed Matt Burke. I've interviewed Ben Lieber. I've interviewed a bunch of different people for the show.
I'd be happy to come on and talk about how much high school football sucked in the 80s compared to now. Because we've had that conversation many times on this program.
Yes,
high school football for a long time just sucked. It was so boring. And now these kids are running pro-style offenses. It's a friggin' shame, the lack of creativity when we played high school football.
Well, the funny part about that, Nick, is that in high school football in the 70s and 80s, the equipment was big and the players were small. And now the players are big and the equipment is small. So
that's also true.
It's changed quite a bit.
Hey, Josh, a listener wants to know, when you went to this Will Smith gala at Target Center all those years ago, did Criss Cross perform?
I'm trying to remember. No, everyone had their clothes on forward. So I don't think
Criss Cross wasn't there?
No. They were the guys with the clothes on backwards.
Yes. What about Third Base? I remember them.
I haven't even heard of Third
Base.
Yeah, what?
Third third base.
There's a lot of jokes in that one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What about the Ghetto Boys?
Ghetto Boys, I don't remember them being there.
I remember the Ghetto Boys had a song that said, "Man, homie, my mind's
I've talked
playing."
about my
I
MC
thought I
Hammer
was in explaining the
concert
song.
I would say I talked about my MC Hammer concert at Met Center before.
Oh yeah,
in the early 90s.
We had a question about that. MC Hammer, did MC Hammer ever show up at a Wolves game or anything when you were there with the Wolves?
I don't think so. They had Vanilla Ice obviously a number of times. But
I've heard he's great. I've heard that.
Keep him away.
No.
They're trying to shoo him out.
You've heard who is great?
He was on the payroll for a while. Every year he'd come.
I've heard he performs really well.
Who is this?
Vanilla Ice.
I saw him once. I mean, I saw him play one song at the Target Center.
He only has one song.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, I don't know. He seemed like he was having a good time, but I certainly didn't need to relive that.
Yeah. One was good.
What I was saying was the Ghetto Boys. Text me. What's our number here again?
651-9893.
Didn't they have a song called "Man, Homie"? My mind's
sure my
playing
wife
tricks.
knows.
That is twice now. I haven't been able to get through the
I'm
title
sorry.
of the.
Well, geez.
Third base had a song called "Pop Goes the Weasel." No one remembers Third Base.
Oh, sure. I remember that song.
Yeah.
You don't want me to sing it, but I remember it.
No, we don't want you to sing anything.
No.
Was it the song, the infamous song, Brad? That wasn't that song, was it?
Pop, pop goes the weasel, that one?
Yeah, you're close enough. Yeah, hell yeah. Here's the deal. We were going to go ahead and test the boys this morning. We were going to have a Dad Fights trivia game, but I guess now we're having some technical difficulties. We're going to have to push it off again until next week. Josh, you got your whiz.
Well, I was joking.
Yeah, people are going to think we're doing this on purpose.
Sorry,
now.
Randy. We thought we had it figured out today, and I guess that wasn't the case.
Earlier this morning, we were talking about how, hey, we can put Randy and Brad head-to-head again this morning for a Dad Fight segment. And then Josh said, well, the beauty of it, if it doesn't happen, then we've got everything prepared for next week. It'll lighten our load for next week.
There you go.
I was thinking we should deserve credit.
And just think of all the listeners that you got to tune in because you teased the fight.
Well, actually,
the fact that you might have a dad fight.
We were talking about that off the air. We feel like dicks about that. We didn't know. We thought everything was...
The song is "Man, Homie, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me." There. The Twins and St. Louis Cardinals are going to go ahead this weekend with a series at Target Field. Randy Shaver, you said Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez pitch when?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow. Good pitching matchup.
All right. Tonight, game one is at 7 o'clock. I've been waiting to run this by you boys. I have. And I'm excited to see where you go with this. I'm not sure what I think about this one yet. You know how our favorite sports leagues are way too busy these days tweaking every effing rule under the sun? In my opinion, they make the games harder to enjoy. Some of the changes that they make. Now, baseball, what was it? How many years has it been now since they started the pitch clock and this?
No, I think it was a year ago.
Yeah, just last year.
That was only last year?
Yeah, it was just last year.
Holy balls, it seems like longer ago.
Yeah, just last year.
That worked. I was pleased with that. But more often than not, I think they make the games harder to enjoy. The bosses can't leave well enough alone. The latest idea I heard, and it comes from Major League Baseball. I'm not sure what to make of it yet, like I already said. Forcing starting pitchers to go 6 innings.
I don't like it.
Forcing them to. No,
I don't like that. No.
I don't like that either. I mean, what if some guy's really struggling?
Right.
There are factors. There are side notes here that you should know along the way. Okay.
It really takes the managing out of the manager part.
Correct. It takes the strategy of changing a pitcher at a certain time.
Let me just tell you more about it.
Hands.
Let me tell you more about
I don't like that at all.
Starting
now
pitchers.
It's just too much meddling.
It is. But let me just give you all the information first.
All right.
I instantly, when I read the headline, I reacted the way you guys did. No way. But then I read further into it. So, as we all know, starting pitchers are not going as deep into ball games as they used to decades ago. There's lots of reasons for that.
Right.
Major League Baseball apparently thinks this is a problem. So much so, they're considering this drastic measure of making starting pitchers pitch longer, requiring starting pitchers to go at least 6 innings every time they take the mound. The article goes on to say there are some ways you can get out of the 6-inning rule. When a pitcher reaches 100 pitches,
Okay.
you can remove him before that 6th inning mark. When the pitcher gives up 4 earned runs, you can switch him out. Or injury, how should I say this? Here it is in front of me. Or being removed for injury. Okay, injury also, you can take a pitcher. And I'm sure we're all picturing pitchers like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack. Oh, my arm, it's broken, right? A pitcher
or becoming like soccer.
Right.
Where everybody gets hurt.
Right. They dive onto the field and writhe around like a sniper got him from the upper deck.
Right.
Right. So 100 pitches, you give up 4 earned runs, or an injury will give the manager the option to get that guy out of there before 6 innings.
I hate this rule. Hate it.
You hate everything about it.
I like it a little bit more now that you're reading that.
Right. That's the way that's the effect it had on me too, Brad Ryder.
Still hate it.
Yeah, it's stupid. Just leave it alone. Nobody wants it to be changed. Just leave it. Who cares?
Nobody wants it to be changed. Ashley, personally, I get aggravated, even though it's been going on for years. I get aggravated when after 3.5 innings, there goes the starter. And bullpen games are longer games. So I after reading all of the information that's been released so far, I'm not opposed to this. Not right now, I'm not.
Yeah, I think there's just too much going on in changing rule. I mean,
I'm with you on that.
Putting a runner at second base to start extra innings drives me crazy. It sucks. That's stupid. Doing this to me is it's too much. Stop messing with the game. People will go to the game. If they don't want to stay for a 3-hour game, they'll leave. It's okay. They paid their tickets. They're there. You made your money. Stop worrying about whether people are going to, enjoy the game. Baseball fans will enjoy the game if you leave it alone and just let them play. I don't like that.
The one thing I wish they would change that we've talked about on this show that you guys don't like, and I'm the only one who likes it, is I wish that they would have, and the Twins game the other day in San Diego is a perfect example, I wish that they would have a 10-run rule after 7 innings or after 8 innings. Because that game in San Diego the other day, if you watched, and I don't know why it was on at my house, but it was, when they were up over 10 runs, batters were swinging at the first pitch if it was 5 feet out of the strike zone. They were just trying to get out of there and get on the plane and get home. And I know what your argument back is, but
I understand your argument, but I will say, if you're broadcasting a game and you've got ads sold through 9 innings, and all of a sudden you're stopping in the 7th inning because it's a 10-run rule, you're not getting those ad money. You've got to make those up somewhere. So,
then you just got to front load the selling of the ads in the early innings.
What they want to do, what they want to do with this 6-inning rule is they want to return the prestige of the starting pitcher.
I don't think the prestige of the starting pitcher has disappeared.
I think it has. I think it has, with the exception of only a few pitchers. It has.
Yeah, but Nick, it'll never go back to what it was before, just because the game, the thought process in the game is different now, and that's okay. The mentality of pitching was so different in the 70s and 80s and 90s with starting pitchers. The game has changed now. The bullpen has become much more important.
Yeah.
They've done all of this research on, lengths of careers and keeping the arm, so that
from falling off.
Trying not to injure people, and the act of throwing the ball overhand is not a normal act for your arm, and so in order for them to sustain some careers, young kids who have started throwing curveballs at 8 years old, is to find a way to limit the amount of time that they pitch or throw. But there's always exceptions to that. There's always going to be exceptions to it.
Here's the thing. You guys know me. You know me very well at this point. I don't like changes in my favorite sports either. I'm just saying, I'm not opposed to this one. This one kind of sounds good to me. We don't need to go on all day about it. I'm just saying.
All right.
Sounds all right to me. Seattle Mariners fired their skipper, a guy named Scott Service. They say they're in the middle of a mid-season collapse.
Oh, they are.
Fair enough.
Well, the Astros started that collapse by winning as much as they're winning. So,
what else is going on baseball-wise?
You know what hurt Seattle too is Julio Rodriguez got hurt, and he's also having a terrible year, and that did not help them at all.
Hoorah!
He is not having a good year.
Not having a good year. This isn't news to anybody. I mean, and we get stats like this every once in a while. The St. Paul Saints had more fans at one of their last home games than a big league club did. I mean, this has been going on for years, really, and usually it's the Oakland Athletics that are being picked up. In this case, the other day, the Saints had 6,900 people at their ballpark for a AAA game against Scranton Wilkes-Barre. The Miami Marlins had a home game with 119 less people. But it's the Marlins. They play in that stupid indoor.
Right.
So anyway, the latest fantasy football punishment. Let me try this out on you. And you know how this stuff works. Right around, this is what I believe. This is how I believe it plays out. It's usually right around the draft when the last place dude has to serve his punishment from the prior season. That's how I believe it works out, and that's how this one worked out. Dude had to serve his punishment before they drafted again for this year. This group of folks, this group of dudes, is having their fantasy football draft in Las Vegas, and last year's last place finisher had to spend a night in Vegas with only $20 in his pocket.
Oh.
So he
Would they take his cash card away from him and credit cards?
He's got only just $20 in his pocket, and he's got to make it through the night in Vegas. They basically drop him off there, and you're on your own. Guy went to the internet looking for help. He wrote on the internet, I have to show up to our Vegas draft a day early with no hotel room and only $20. And he asked for any tips on how to make it through the night. You guys got any ideas how to make it through the night on $20?
Well, the good thing is, I mean, Vegas is always awake. So you don't have to get a hotel room. You don't have to sleep at all. So
you don't? And the following day, you've got a 4-hour-long fantasy football draft?
She's speaking as somebody in her young 20s.
You're speaking as a 26, 7-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my first thought, though, it's probably a dangerous route, would be to, invest in some drugs, flip the drugs to somebody else on the street and get some more money.
Wow.
Become a drug dealer.
I thought of.
Oh, you become a drug dealer.
Yep, just
how do you become a drug dealer with only $20 in your pocket?
Pay $20 for something and then find some dumb tourists, and make them pay double or triple that amount.
Well, the good news is if you get picked up and thrown in jail, at least you get fed for free then.
Dude, that's it. Just get arrested.
And you've got a place to sleep.
Yeah.
So
Here are some of the suggestions, some of the advice he got from strangers on that soulless social media. And you guys probably be able to follow this more than I can because I've been to Vegas once. I don't get into the whole Vegas thing. One person suggested to find a players club sign-up promo.
Oh, yeah. Get a little free play going.
It's not a bad idea.
That includes free play, and then use that free play to get free drinks. That way, at least you enjoy yourself while hanging around the city drunk.
Just going to every single casino signing up for players.
Someone claimed, what does he do? There's a joint called the El Cortez that gives patrons $10 to $20 to gamble if you show them a boarding pass. So if he got dropped off, from an airplane ride. Is that what they mean by boarding pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
They also mentioned a joint called the Stagecoach Bar where they have $2 hot dogs.
Oh, get 10 hot dogs. That's good living.
Oh, yeah. And doesn't a lot of the casinos have dollar hot dogs, too?
Yeah, yep.
Take the $20, bet it on black on the roulette table, and double your money if you're lucky.
Oh, that's risky,
if
though.
you're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Door hauling Jesus has a really good idea. Tinder. Just go on Tinder and find a one-night stand to stay with.
Oh, there you go.
Jeez, yeah.
For $20.
Well, you don't have to pay for it.
No.
Tinder's all about free hookups with strangers at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
As far as I've been told. 2 more pieces of advice for this guy. Put a sign around your neck there on the streets of Vegas that simply says, "This is my fantasy football punishment. Please help," and maybe some suckers will hand you some, some loose change. You can go get.
I definitely think
that's not a bad idea.
That's the best idea.
Do that by a sports book. You probably get a lot of people donating.
Yeah, that seems like cheating.
Well, the best idea that I read, also, maybe you'd consider it cheating. They said just stay at the friggin' airport. There's plenty of places to sleep on the floor, and you can.
I will. Yeah.
Just sleep on the
you
floor.
can still gamble at the airport in Vegas.
Yeah.
I love the depravity of Ashley, though. You've got it figured out. You just become a drug dealer.
Hey, a texter texted in and said just buy $20 of drugs, too. So I'm not the only one with a bad mind here.
What if the guy never comes back to his real life? He just becomes a Vegas drug kingpin off of the $20.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the movie Sleeping in Las Vegas. What was it called again? Leaving Las Vegas. Hilarious.
Oh, I thought it was depressing.
Absolutely hilarious.
I heard differently.
I had a riot with that one. Hey, I'm very happy to learn that the Minnesota Vikings went ahead and signed Mo Ibrahim.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're pretty
I was
pumped
so
about
happy
that.
to see that yesterday.
I love that kid. I friggin' love that kid, and I want to see great things for him. I mean, folks, I don't know if they fully understand what he accomplished. When you break Darrell Thompson's rushing records at the University of Minnesota, you've done something really, really special.
Yeah.
And so I hope great things for Mo.
And you know what? You can never have enough good running backs in the NFL. So hopefully he'll find a job and stay here.
I thought the answer was wide receivers on that these days. You can never have enough good wide receivers. It's not a running game anymore. It's a passing game.
No, but if you are going to run, I mean, to me, running backs get beat up a lot more than receivers do. So you can never have too many of those. So
I hear you. Go ahead, Mo. Be the next Terry Allen. Be the next Ricky Young, Ted Brown.
Robert Smith.
Alfred Anderson.
There you go. If this
I love Anderson.
Uh-oh.
Yep, that's what made me think of it.
That's all you have to say. And then here we go. We're going to lose Randy now.
I love Anderson.
What does it mean to be Bo Nix? What was his backstory?
Quarterback for Denver.
No. His backstory.
He was at Oregon.
Oh, okay. Right. I'm picturing somebody else. Who was the left-handed quarterback that was so slick from Washington?
Penix.
Yep.
Yeah, where'd he end up?
He's in Atlanta. He was drafted when Cousins.
Remember that was the whole thing?
He's battling for the starting job with Cousins.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
After Cousins signed that huge contract, everyone was like, why would they sign him?
Why would they draft Penix with the 8th pick in the first round?
Captain Deathrocks is going to last as long there as Karen is with the Jets, right? There'll be another injury. What's his name again? Penix? He'll get his chance this year.
I'm sure he will.
There's no way Deathrocks is making it more than 4, 5, 6 games this year. He's done. Bo Nix, if this matters at all to you, will be the first Denver Broncos rookie quarterback to start week 1 since John Elway did it in 1983.
Yeah.
What is this now? Oklahoma State college football players, along with a few other schools, will wear QR codes on their helmets during ball games so as to direct fans straight to the team's NIL fund.
So goofy.
That's kind of fun.
So
I
you have to pause your TV and zoom in with your camera.
Great play, 32. Let me send you $20.
So,
can you imagine explaining that to your dad?
Oh, I've been at restaurants with my parents with them trying to figure out the QR menus. Oh, man, that's tough.
I remember remember the first time we went to a restaurant, Nick, where they had that, and we were confused.
Yes.
Yeah, we were at this, and it was just the QR code was taped to the table.
We wondered if we were invisible because no one was giving us a menu.
I was going to say that. No one came up to you guys.
Finally,
like,
the guy walked by. We said, we're looking to get something or another to eat. Can we get a menu? He pointed at this squirrely lines on the table. I have no idea how to work any of that stuff.
Good thing Josh was there.
Well, I
Nick
knew
just
what
walks in. He's like,
I would have thought the guy trying to start trouble.
I thought it was an advertisement, so I didn't even do anything about it. I'd never heard of that before. And maybe it's different now, but at the time it was, they just didn't want germs on menus. It was in the middle of the pandemic there.
Yeah.
So, a lot of college football programs are going to make some money, I guess, on this, putting QR codes on the players' helmets. Yeah, then the program is going to ask television stations for tight shots of the QR codes. So you can click on it however you do it. I have no idea, and then donate some money to the program. We have one listener in our audience who texts, usually during college basketball season, when we're complaining about Golden Gopher basketball. Not that they didn't have a real, what's the word I'm looking for? They had a real promising year last year. I'm a big Golden Gopher basketball fan. But whenever we talk about, they're never going to get the best recruits because of NIL and all this. We have one listener who always texts and says, you can go ahead and donate anytime you want if you want to help your program. And that's something that I'm completely foreign to. I forget about that you can go ahead. You want better, donate your money. So that's how they're going to operate. Some college football programs will operate that way.
I would say that argument is not holding water right now for Gopher football.
What do you mean?
They are getting the best football players in the state to commit to them. More now than ever before.
Well, that's great.
So I don't think that argument, at least in state, is holding much water for football.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Duck Duck Beer. Here he is, March Madness Jesus. He says, drink Duck Duck Beer. That throws money into the Golden Gopher basketball pool. You following what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's Grey Duck.
Yep.
Pardon me?
Isn't that from Grey Duck Brewing? The Duck Duck Beer?
I have no idea.
That stuff's pretty good.
Anthony Edwards and Anthony Davis, the brow, both those guys, coming off their gold medal Olympic thing, Anthony Edwards and Anthony Davis will be part of Floyd Mayweather's entourage when Floyd gets in the ring again this Saturday in Mexico City.
I was kind of bummed when I saw that.
I wouldn't be seen anywhere in public with a guy like Floyd Mayweather, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
What's Anthony Edwards' connection to Floyd Mayweather?
I have no idea.
Well,
young and famous.
I know what his connection is to Durant because he's always said that Durant is his favorite player ever. So I can imagine why he'd want to be attached with Durant. Maybe Durant is attached with Mayweather.
No, Durant's not going to be there. It's Anthony Davis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It happens.
I thought I heard that wrong.
It happens.
Yeah, now I really don't know, I guess.
I don't know. I had no idea that Floyd Mayweather was still trying to box. Of course, I'm not surprised. He never, ever wants to let it go, but that's just not the kind of guy I'd like to hang out with. But what do I know? This next season of how many of us watch Dancing with the Stars?
Never watched.
Nope. Not for me.
No.
Well, next time they fire that program up, says here, season 33 of Dancing with the Stars. It will feature the Olympic gymnast kid with the big, thick glasses.
Pommel horse guy.
I'm sorry?
Pommel horse guy.
Pommel horse guy.
Yeah.
Stephen Nador.
Something like
I would think he'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
At dancing?
I don't know.
If you're a gymnast, I would think you would probably be pretty good at dancing.
Yeah, you got to
But
have
you have
some.
to have rhythm and such. He doesn't look like he'd be very rhythmic.
We'll see what he can do on his feet, because his specialty is propping himself up with his arms on that pommel horse. Anyway, he'll be the first male gymnast to compete on Dancing with the Stars. He says, quote, I want to bring some of that gymnastics, maybe a backflip or a handstand. I want to have fun with it. Well, yeah, I hope so.
He'll be able to lift his partner up pretty easily.
Yeah, he seems like a likable kid. He was pretty pumped there when he won that medal and whatnot. He was one of the highlights of watching those Olympics. He had a good time.
And I believe this show is fan voting. That's how they determine it. So I imagine, given his popularity right now, he'll probably get a lot of America's votes.
Yeah, they're not even going to care how he dances.
No, I hope we're not working on September 4th, because that's when the full cast of Dancing with the Stars will be announced on Good Morning America. Okay? Can we take that off, Josh, September 4th?
If you want to. I know it's always a big deal for you.
Here are some of the rumored contestants for this year's edition of Dancing with the Kelly Ripa.
Okay.
A guy by the name of Tom Sandoval from Vampire Rules.
Vanderpump
Rules. Sorry.
A much different show.
David or Victoria Beckham.
Oh, that'd be fun.
In what way?
I don't know. I like her.
What about David?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see David.
He's mesmerizing.
Yeah, they're both good looking.
A guy named Jerry, or a girl named Jerry Turner from a show called Golden Bachelor.
Never seen it.
Never saw it.
And Jason Kelsey.
I like Jason Kelsey.
Nobody likes Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, people do like Jason Kelsey.
It's just that him being there means that his brother's he's probably gonna be in the audience.
Don't even bring it up, Ashley.
I know.
People probably like him because he's just not as annoying as his brother, so they like him.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
a good
likes
point.
him.
Yeah.
I think you'd actually like him, Nick, if you watch more of him.
Hate him.
But he put on a cool wrestling mask and got drunk on beer. Don't you?
Big Al does that at the Wayzata American Legion on Sundays. I don't need to watch some millionaire football. Look how funny he is. Big Al puts on a wrestling mask and gets drunk at the Wayzata Legion every Sunday.
It's a Sunday tradition.
So there
I
you
did
go.
see him get drunk while wearing an eye patch, so I believe everything you're saying.
He's got many different costumes and cameo appearances.
Didn't you one time get drunk and bring in a trombone?
No, that was a damn. What's that stupid thing that my Irish relatives?
Bagpipes?
Bagpipes.
Dude, he sounds awesome.
Who? Big Al?
Yeah, I want to hang out with him.
He is pretty awesome.
Did he have the wrestling mask on with the bagpipes?
You know where to find him, Ashley, if you want to hang out with Big Al.
I told you before, one time I said, I love your shirt, and he took it off and gave it to me in the middle of a bar.
Because he's the kind of guy that would what?
Yeah, he would give you the shirt off.
Give you the shirt off his back.
He literally gave me the shirt off his back.
This was many years ago. Big Al came across a set of bagpipes. I walk into his place, and he's repairing a set of bagpipes. And I said, okay, now you finally lost your mind. And he said, no, I'm going to bring these into the Legion I'm going to bring the bagpipes into the Legion on St. Patrick's Day. And I said, don't do that. Because they're all going to, as soon as you walk in, you've got red hair. They're all going to assume that you know how to play bagpipes, and you don't. And they're going to be mad at you. And he said, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And it played out the exact way that I predicted it. He walked in, the whole bar goes quiet. A red-haired guy with a beer belly and a set of bagpipes. The whole bar goes quiet on St. Patrick's Day because they think, oh, God, he's going to play Danny Trejo. What's the old Irish song?
Danny Boy.
Danny Boy. And he can't play a lick of it. He stands there like a jag-off, and he walks out of the joint, and they booed him. And I said, I told you.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish I could have seen that.
And I still hang out with him, though, even though he almost got our asses kicked. So there you go. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Yep, you too.
Thank you. We will both be at the fair tomorrow.
What's that?
Yes,
I said we'll both be at the fair tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you there.
You guys have fun.
Yep.
We're going today. Yeah. What are you playing here for us? Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh, so many terrible memories are coming back now. It's just terrible.
I like it.
You guys have a good one. Folks who are having health troubles, if you're not feeling so well, you know how it works. Text us 68683. No, that's like 4 times I've done that this week. 651-989-9393. I can't keep in mind what the if you have a health issue, you can text our doctor friend. 651-989-9393. Dr. PG's is coming up next.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Are you tired of losing your fantasy football league year after year? Lindsey Rhodes, Emmy-winning sportscaster and football analyst, is your new secret weapon on the Believe Fantasy Football Show.
Watch the quarterbacks and his ADP. I think he has massive high-end upside.
Get expert analysis on player rankings.
Wide receiver 22 in fantasy, Cecil Shorts.
That kid can run, so I'm thinking he can have a breakout season this year.
And you can too by searching the Believe Fantasy Football Show. That's BLEAV wherever you listen.
8:25. We've hit it. We've hit 8:25 on the 93X Half Fast Morning Show. The handsome, successful, and very knowledgeable Dr. James Parnell. He's gone ahead and joined us in studio. Text us, 651-989-9393 if you've got something wrong with you. Good morning, Dr. P.
Good morning, folks.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I was wrestling to get here with apparently a whole slew of people headed to the fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, I didn't realize how close this was. To
You jumped on 280, didn't you?
I did. It was, a serious mistake. Brutal. Especially because I had to get off this exit.
It's almost always a mistake if you're on 280 going in either direction. It is.
Okay, no, I'll remember that.
That's the way I go to and from work. And you're right. I mean, and like on the way home yesterday, it was packed.
I was like, what? There's never any traffic. What is going on
Everyone's going to the fair because they know Dr. P's joining us at the booth today.
I wish.
Starting, you can't make it?
No. I mean, I guess I could quit my job right now.
That works. Who needs a job?
Actually, we were joking about that earlier, Dr. P. I met you in a bowling alley.
Oh.
And we were...
That's true.
Remember? We were raising some money for veterans, and you were nice enough to stop by.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out, and then... You mentioned you're a doctor, and if you've ever a doctor segment, I'd love to do it. And that was how many years ago?
That was 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Okay, yes. I thought it was like 5 or 6. So 8 years ago. And I don't remember how it came up, but we're wondering, what if you're really not a doctor? I just believed you on day one.
I mean,
you've been fooling us for almost a decade.
I think you would have to go down as the most brilliant actor to ever live.
It would have to be. That's like a movie.
Yeah, that would be like DiCaprio, whatever movie he was.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I was saying, if now we know you can't make it, that's cool. You got to work. I was saying, if you were to join us at the fair, maybe next Friday you can. I'm rooting for someone to be in need of medical assistance.
And I go, I'm out of here.
Is there a doctor in the house?
To see if you can. I want to see if you can really.
You want to see me
handle your business, yeah.
And I was thinking about it. You see this right here? You see that?
An apple?
This is an apple.
Yes.
I have one every day, yet here you are. And if you were a real doctor, as the saying goes,
be here.
You would be kept away.
Unbelievable.
Oh, boy.
So we're getting texts here for you, as we do when you're here.
We get a lot of texts.
We do, so thank you for coming in. And thank you for those that have texted in.
Josh gets $1 every time we get a text.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, at Fridays it's $2. It's double time. So this person says they are a drug addict.
Oh, my God.
Meth, 20 years. Said, I can't remember the last time I went a day without. I do have a normal life. 2 full-time jobs, family, 3 kids that I love and spend as much time with as I can.
What the hell?
I want to quit, but I'm terrified my body and mind won't be okay without. I'm 43. I've never told anyone this. Should I tell my doctor? I can't go to treatment. I can't afford to take time off of work. And currently I'm the only one at my work that can do my job. So how bad do you know? I don't know how much you know about meth withdrawal or...
I honestly don't know a lot about meth withdrawal. I mean, it's, it's not something you hear people trying to get off of very often, unfortunately.
Yeah, 20 years every day.
I guess
and they're able to maintain a life like that.
And that's unusual, I think, with meth. I mean, I think there's plenty of other drugs that people can, including alcohol, where you can get along. And
I've heard of plenty of functioning alcoholics.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of too many functioning methamphetamine addicts.
I haven't either. But as far as I know, so alcohol withdrawal and withdrawal from medications like Valium and Xanax, those can kill you. So those have to be done in a controlled way.
Yeah.
Or withdrawal from other, from opioids or whether it's prescription pills that are obtained by prescription or illegally, or whether it's heroin, you can withdraw and get off of that, but you don't die. I mean, you're miserable. So I think methamphetamine would be more like cocaine, and again, you won't die from it, but it's horrible. The odds of someone being able to get off that on their own seems so small, and I think even though it sounds, they have lots of reasons why they don't want to go to their doctor, go to treatment. I think it's the only way you can effectively get off that is to pause your life for a little bit. It may not have to be, you may not have to be out of work forever, but you at least need to be in a controlled program. Doesn't mean you have to be inpatient.
Right.
It means you can be working with a doc that can help you with.
I bet that's going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough, but you would, I mean, that's, again, I haven't really heard of anyone using it that long and having things in their life still be held together.
Hey, man, to the texter, good for you for reaching out.
Yeah.
Good for you for even asking about it.
Yeah, I think
I have no idea.
I mean, really,
what's ahead of you, but we got your back. That's an absolute first during a doctor segment. We've never had anyone text in anything like that before.
And I've got some good news. So our buddy, big bearded Jared, a long-time member of the Brotherhood, awesome dude. His wife, I didn't realize this. I knew she was in medical. I didn't know what she did.
Yeah.
She's an addiction specialist, and so he gave me her information, and I will text this person back.
Great, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. There's plenty of addiction specialists, in the Twin Cities.
And they're great at what they do.
And they are. I mean, it's and you need that. It's sort of giving me goosebumps thinking about this because this is really, this is powerful stuff. But
I'm no doctor, but I sadly a couple of my family members suffer with addiction, and I have always heard or learned that it is dangerous to quit cold turkey, but that's I'm sure you guys have heard about it. We've talked about it before. That's why they have Suboxone, which it tapers you off of it. It's essentially like a small dosage of meth.
Yeah, that's what they give them in treatment if they're having really, really bad withdrawals.
Well, obviously, see your doctor and ask about that before you take it.
You only can get it from your doctor. Yeah.
This is great. Now, a lot of people, to this person who texted that in and shared that with us, again, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of support from the Brother and Sisterhood. One person in particular said, I know plenty of people who have used things like that for 20 years and who have kicked it successfully. So they're saying there's a good chance you'll do the same.
What an interesting text. Absolutely interesting text.
Yeah, good luck. And I think, the first step is admitting it, and probably the second step is asking for help. So
here's a text message for Dr. P. Jesus, who's visiting us here on the Half-Assed Morning Show. It says here, Dr. P, I'm 37. I don't smoke. Lame. I exercise daily. Dork. But my blood pressure is consistently 140/80. Is this just genetic, or could there be something wrong? I don't know anything about blood pressure, except for the fact that whenever I have my blood pressure taken at the doctor's office, they always say that I win.
You win.
They always say that my blood pressure is terrific. So is that wicked high, 140/80?
No, it's not terrible. 120/80 is sort of the traditional, cutoff for normal. Below that is absolutely fine, unless it's incredibly low for some reason. To technically make the diagnosis of, you can debate about it a little bit, but 140/90, whether it's the top number or the bottom number or both, if you're consistently above that, that's when you start to make the diagnosis of hypertension. And for plenty of people, their lifestyle, their habits, all that makes a difference and can control things, but there are plenty of people that inherit some tendencies to have high blood pressure. And then there are some medical problems that can lead to it. A variety of things, but at that number, it's not like we would be necessarily looking for these unusual causes, such as you can have a thing called a pheochromocytoma, which is basically a adrenaline secreting tumor, which can sort of sit on top of your kidney in the adrenal gland. You can have low blood flow to your kidneys that causes sort of reflexive elevations in blood pressure, but usually those numbers are quite a bit more elevated. And they don't respond to medications.
You're not going to drop your beer if you read someone's blood pressure 140/80.
No.
Okay.
I think it's
and you shouldn't be drinking in the office. As a doctor.
We told you a couple times, man.
That's true, right?
I'm not just like Ashley. I'm not a doctor, but it seems like you shouldn't.
Right. Lesson learned. Shouldn't have the beer in my hand.
What's going on? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So I think it's not terribly concerning. It's something to keep an eye on.
So what
over
would
time.
you say? So if somebody came in, they had that, you saw that, what would you say to that person? I mean, would you say something like, hey, we noticed this, or is it insignificant enough that you might not even mention it?
Well, I mean, no, you mention it, but again, at 140 over 90 is barely kind of getting
Over 80 it was, just to be
140 over
specific.
80 is really barely getting into any kind of worrisome level at all. So,
Well, like I mentioned, this guy doesn't smoke and he works out, so he's probably, he's a little too worried about that.
yeah, but following up in 6 months or a year. I mean,
He's
that's
too
kinda-
straight-laced.
Would you recommend he stop working out and start smoking?
I would generally not.
Live a
go
little,
down
for
that path.
Christ's sake.
No.
Live a little.
What's going on, brah? Jesus said he cracked his ribs 5 weeks ago. When he eats, his left side hurts a lot. Is that something to worry about?
He eats his ribs?
I love ribs.
I do too.
How much for one rib?
How much for another
You
rib?
have any idea?
I don't. 5 weeks ago, so
I mean, I've always heard that takes a long time to get back to normal.
His left side hurts?
The left
Yes,
side.
left
And
side.
presumably that's the side he broke the ribs on.
I would imagine so.
Ouchie.
I guess I'm not sure why eating would.
Well, maybe
make
because he
ribs.
cracked a rib?
Right, but just, I mean, if you really fill up your stomach and stretch your rib cage a little bit, but that's a little unusual. But absolutely, rib injuries take a long time. I mean, for bones to heal for most adults, it's probably at least 6 weeks or so. The ribs, because they're moving, maybe it's a little bit different. But the soft tissue injury, the reason we eat ribs is because they have, I mean, not human ribs, but is because they have muscle between them, and that gets torn or injured when you have broken ribs. So all sorts of activities could make it worse. I guess I would just, wonder if there's something else going on causing discomfort with eating, related to reflux, acid, those kinds of things. But assuming it's related to the ribs, it's probably a few months before things really feel better.
Well, by God.
I have a buddy of mine broke his ribs snowboarding at too accelerated of an age. You probably should be snowboarding at his age.
Tell us about that buddy that removed one of his ribs and why.
Well, actually, you might know him. Have you heard of Marilyn Manson?
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, he used to star on The Wonder Years.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Your buddy did what?
Oh, so he broke some ribs and more. I actually have mentioned this before, and Dr. P, you said he should have died. It was like a car accident, basically. He decided to crash into a boulder while snowboarding.
His injury sounded like
Were you there to see that?
high-speed car crash.
No, but I saw the aftermath. So, he's a stubborn fella, and he works in construction and decided, I'm just going to keep working, right? And I'd see him, and he was doing some stuff at my house, and just lifting something, or he'd be in the middle of, and he'd have to stop in the middle of a conversation. It just, he had a couple of stingers there that got him pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously doing activities like that after rib injuries makes a lot of sense. It's just the eating part's a little confusing, but no, it's
his coworkers hate him.
bad.
That's unrelated.
Hate his guts.
That's
they
not
did
related
before
at all.
and after. the
Even
injuries.
more so after, yeah.
Nice.
I wandered through the state fair yesterday afternoon and last evening with my friggin' wife. We did walk through the Care 11 health zone or something, right? We wanted to see if they'd try to keep us. And one of the tests you can take, I think you can go in there and get your blood pressure checked and your hearing and sight and things like that. One of the little booths you can stop by in there was a memory assessment. And we have received a text from a listener that says, and there's not a lot of information here, and I don't know, how learned you are. Well, you know every damn thing. I have a memory problem, says this listener. As bad as where I forget how to say words or what I did just 3 days ago. That's all the information that's given us. I don't know if you'd have any thoughts on such a thing.
I had the same thing for about 2 weeks. It was a weird deal.
You did?
Yeah.
Same is this when you had that dolphin flu or whatever the hell almost killed you?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what was going on or what, but to the point where I was very concerned. Words too. Were easy words I couldn't come up with.
I recall.
See,
you
I have
telling
that
us
problem
about
every
that.
friggin' day. But
well, yeah, every once in a while you still have that kind of thing, but it was to the point where it wasn't normal. It wasn't like what you'd expect. It happens a couple times a week here and there. It was happening so often that my wife was looking at me like, what is going on?
What do you know about the human brain and the ability to remember?
Well, it's
It's remember.
I forgot that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to remember. I mean, there's a lot of. Boy, where do we start with that? Probably the biggest thing is, what is the pattern? You know, have you been normal until a few days ago, and
Sure.
suddenly you are having troubles? You know, were you recently ill? Have
Did
you had medication changes?
Recently lose a kickboxing world title match or something. Yeah.
You know, so basically, is there something? I mean, for changes that happen quickly, you know, over days, probably weeks, or even days or weeks, certainly. You know, it's going to be an illness of some type, whether it's an infection, whether it's something weird with like your sodium levels in your blood. Basically, your blood's kind of diluted because of medications or an illness, and we would call that more like delirium, basically, as opposed to dementia. So delirium can happen for all sorts of reasons. We see it a lot in people who end up in the hospital, and it's sort of fluctuating levels of ability to engage and remember things and communicate, versus dementia, which typically happens over years. You know, and that's going to be things like, I mean, Alzheimer's is sort of the prototypical one, but that definitely happens over years. There can be dementia with Parkinson's. There can be dementia related to multiple small strokes in the brain that happen over long periods of time.
That's all really important.
It is. So
this individual should go to see his doctor and talk about the pattern. Has anything changed?
Yeah. And usually it's really good to have someone go with you, because especially if you're aware that you're already having trouble, that means you've probably been having trouble longer. And so your spouse, your children, a friend, you know, some other people who can give information to the doctor is helpful. And then there are, I mean, I'm not sure what they're doing at the fair for a quick screening, but it's probably...
We were afraid to ask, actually.
Yeah.
We were.
Don't want to be diagnosed.
No.
It's probably just some quick questions about, you know, like the president, your county,
Right.
doing some quick number things in your head, maybe almost like a couple word memory games, spelling things, and, you know, that's kind of a standard little mini mental status exam.
That's really interesting.
Would you recommend, like what we did with the kids when they were little and we go someplace like the fair, that he writes down his mom's name and number on his arm?
Might not be a bad idea.
I thought I was maybe a week away from that, having some issues.
But now you're better? Now it's not happening?
Yeah, it's not happening. And I don't, it could be a coincidence. I mentioned this before. You know, I'm always wary to mention anything like this because it could be a pure coincidence. My wife said, try some creatine, heard that it kind of helps your brain a little bit. And at that time, I don't know if it worked or if it was a coincidence, but something has worked.
Have you and your wife been playing that friggin' suffocation game that I warned you about?
Space Monkey.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it's not a game.
Yeah, just some of us, it's not a game.
No, it's a lifestyle. I'll tell you what, we ought to take a break because we're getting a lot of text messages for Dr. P, and we want to get to as many as we can. So we're at 651-989-9393. Dr. P. Jesus is in studio answering your health questions. There have been some good ones so far. We're going to wrap it up with a few more when we come back. Yeah, he's in the mix today. By damn, he is. Dr. P. Jesus. Thank you very much to our listening audience for your great text messages, asking about your health issues. Dr. P. is doing a great job again, trying to help folks out best he can.
Also, thanks for supporting each other. A lot of people, for some of these people, text in, hey, here's my experience, and everything from you'll do okay to this is what I recommend. So
yeah,
we appreciate that.
It really is true. It's an incredible resource, your listeners.
We got time for a couple more. Here's one for you, Dr. P. A listener wants to know, have you heard of the quit drinking pills? Do you know anything about them, the quit drinking pills?
Well, I guess I'm not sure which one they're talking about.
Yeah.
There are at least two, if not maybe three versions of quit drinking pills. Actually, maybe four.
Really?
Yeah. The harshest one is one that doesn't get used very much anymore. I believe the old brand name was Antabuse, and basically, if you take that pill,
my uncle went to jail for that.
Antabuse.
Oh no! Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
God, you're quick. That one makes you physically sick, like really sick, if you take it and drink alcohol. So as you can imagine, people aren't too motivated to take it. So that's one that doesn't get used too much. But then there's one like naltrexone, which is basically a medication that can help decrease cravings, and cravings have to do with typically like the dopamine system in our brain, where it can get involved in all sorts of things. But anything that leads to addiction, typically you get little dopamine releases when you participate, would drink it, do the drug, whatever it is, and then you crave more and more. And so that kind of medication essentially blocks that system to some degree, and that can help. And then there are combination medications that involve naltrexone and some other things. Sometimes maybe an anti-seizure medicine. So there's a bunch of things out there.
I had never heard of but a quit drinking pill.
Yeah. And there's one other one, which I'm completely not thinking of the name of it right now, where it really, specifically blocks the effects of alcohol. And
what do you mean? So it keeps you from getting drunk?
It definitely takes the joy out of it. And I think.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's a joyful thing to get drunk.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to take the joy out of it.
Right. So there are a bunch of different ways to do it.
Huh.
And I think, it's the same as with smoking. There are different things to look at and talk about as to what you need to do to stop. So some of it is physical addiction with tobacco or alcohol. Some of it is just habit. I wake up and I smoke a cigarette.
Right.
I wake up and I have a shot of whiskey before I go to work, or I come home. More commonly, I come home and I have a bottle of wine, and then maybe another half a bottle of wine, because that's how I relax.
God, it feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's that's where counseling, medication, commitment to change, all that makes a difference.
Sure.
But for some people, some of those medications can help. But again, typically working with an addiction specialist of some type is probably going to be your best bet to actually overcome things, because they're going to look at the whole picture and figure out what's going to work best for you.
Exactly. How about a complicated text, Dr. P?
Sure.
With some terms in here that I will likely fail in clarifying. Question for Dr. P. I was put on 6.25 milligrams of carvedilol. Okay? For SVT. Now, before we go any further, say that professionally.
Carvedilol?
Carvedilol. For SVT. What is SVT?
Supraventricular tachycardia. So
a heart problem.
A heart problem, heart rhythm problem.
Okay. This was a week and a half ago. They have SVT and they have BP as well. What is BP?
It's a gas station, I
think.
Okay. We'll just move on. Okay, I was put on this carvedilol for SVT a week and a half ago. Can I get into some beers tonight without dying?
Oh, okay.
Is it not a good idea to mix alcohol with these heart medications?
It would definitely never be part of the recommended treatment strategy.
So there you go, dude. That's probably all you need to know.
Basically, we could explain quick. Actually, this sort of sounds similar to what you have dealt with, Nick.
Yes.
Carvedilol is another name for it is Coreg, and it's a newer generation of beta blocker.
Okay.
Which
I've been taking that for 32 years, beta blocker.
Atenolol and propranolol are the ones that are more common, and basically it just kind of slows down your heart rate a little bit. It lowers your blood pressure a little bit, and it tends to sort of decrease or pad down those spikes of abnormal rhythms. But if you're trying to control those episodes, that medication is going to help. I would say alcohol could easily precipitate some of those episodes. So
and don't mess around with it then.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude, you're driving tonight.
Yep.
You're our designated driver.
Drive to the fair, baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fair-related question here. A fair-related text message for Dr. P. Dr. P, I'm not feeling very well this morning. You probably want to know more information as to what they've been up to, right?
It's gonna help. Yeah.
I'm not feeling.
What's your first thought?
I'm not feeling very well this morning, and I have a lot of gas.
Pregnant. Oh, sorry.
A lot of gas and a headache. Here's what they were up to yesterday. They were at the state fair. They had garlic fries, fried pickles, an oofta taco, Reuben bites, roasted corn on the cob, cheese curds, mini donuts, several beers.
Oh, man.
They should feel perfect. That doesn't make any sense.
This is a medical mystery, isn't
It is. What could possibly be
And
causing
several beers.
Oh.
That's
Sounds like a fun
great.
day, though.
I have gas and a headache.
Which of those is most likely to cause problems? do you
Oh,
think?
that sounds wonderful.
That's quite a selection, though.
Yes.
Another eating-related one. This person says, I do lawn care. Almost every day after lunch, I get lightheaded and a little woozy as I'm working my way through. It mostly happens when it's hot outside. I'm always drinking a lot of water, so I don't think it's dehydration. What could cause this?
Well,
Too big of a lunch, maybe.
That was my first thought.
Too little of a lunch, maybe.
Maybe too little.
I mean, it could be related to eating. Obviously, if you're working outside in the heat and you're feeling woozy and lightheaded, you worry about heat-related illness. I would typically expect that to get worse as the afternoon goes on and sort of accumulate from day to day. But they said every day that happens?
Yeah, it seems that way. Yep.
Get a desk job.
Yeah, I mean, boy, again, worrying about heat-related illness, but again, you would expect
somebody doping his lunch.
Yeah,
I get woozy every time I drink with this guy.
Oh, he's getting poison.
Are you having alcohol for lunch? That'd be another. Yeah, right. Do you trust your coworkers?
Food coma.
Yeah. Do you have a wife, and is she happy?
Yeah, but I mean, it could be. If you eat a pretty big lunch, I mean, basically that diverts quite a bit of blood flow to your gut, which has to digest things, and that if you are really working hard outside in the heat, I think that often will make you feel kind of lousy. And then, as you digest a bit, the blood can kind of go back to where it should be and make you feel better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess.
God,
I'm not sure.
That reminds me. Is everyone here familiar with the Dairy Queen menu?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Do they still serve the ultimate burger?
That I'm not sure.
I
of.
don't think so.
30 years ago, I worked a warehouse job with this dude. And for lunch, we always went to Dairy Queen because it was right across the damn highway and because it's friggin' delicious, right? And my coworker would get the ultimate burger was a big fat-ass burger. Every day he'd get the ultimate burger, a damn bucket of onion rings, and a large Blizzard.
Yum, dude.
And I was like the foreman of this warehouse, so I knew he would be worthless after lunch because he'd just be in this massive food coma and unable to do anything physical. So we'd go to lunch the next day at Dairy Queen, and he'd say, yeah, I'll take the and I'd say, no, not the damn ultimate burger. You're going to be garbage again.
I need you to do some
but
stuff
it was
this
so
afternoon.
friggin' good. And of course,
that sounds awesome.
Oh, Cubby, it's one of the, if they still have it, it's one of the best I've ever.
I don't think I could do a Blizzard anymore.
Oh, the
Really?
large one?
Especially the large one.
No.
Just all the dairy?
What's that?
Just because the dairy upsets your tummy?
Yeah. I'll tell you, back in the day, we'd hit up Subway, and then across the street there was a Dairy Queen. And that was like the bomb. It'd be the same thing. You go get the world's largest sandwich and then the world's largest Blizzard.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yum.
I looked up the calories on a large Blizzard, depending on what you have in it.
It'll take you a while to get through all those numbers.
It's at least 1,200 calories.
Yeah, it's up there.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not going back to work. If I'm eating a large anything these days, I'm not going back to work. I'm going to take a nap.
Do you mind one more? Hopefully this is a quick one.
No,
I
go ahead.
don't know if you've ever heard this before. I'm sure you have. This person says, I've been having a fluttering sensation in my bladder area for a few months.
Oh, you swallowed an insect or something.
It's a moth, isn't it? It's a bladder moth.
It's laying eggs on your kidneys.
Yep.
Ooh.
It's a rat or a gerbil or something, and it's eating its way out of your body.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, there's.
That's got to be it. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah, fluttering sensation in bladder. I guess I'm not sure. That would require a lot more questions because
bladder wasp.
Is it uncomfortable? Is it is it spasm? Bladder spasms? Does it say whether it's a man or a woman? Or?
It does not say.
Okay.
It's a 612er. Does that do anything for you? Probably
that's definitely more likely to be a female, right? No.
Hey, I'm a 612er.
No, I am too. But I'm not going to give you my number. No. I don't know. With guys, we always think prostate. With women, they don't have a prostate, so we don't think prostate. But yeah, I mean, bladder spasms are the things that come to mind. But again, those are pretty uncomfortable. So
Like what would cause a bladder? Let's say that's what it is. What would cause something like that?
Bladder spasms would cause bladder spasms.
Oh, is that what causes it? Is that like a...
Well, I mean, it could be a urinary tract infection.
Oh, man. Those
Those
are awful.
There's, why am I completely blanking? A type of cystitis where people just have annoying symptoms with their bladder, and that's kind of common. I mean, a sexually transmitted disease is on the list. Again, it's
maybe they're
congratulations.
A whore.
Right.
Maybe they're a what?
They might be a whore.
That's terrible.
Is there a whore listening?
It could just be gonorrhea proliferating.
My wife just turned off the radio.
Yeah, she doesn't like whores, man.
Tell you what.
She hates them.
We're due at the fair in 58 minutes.
Okay.
We wish you were coming with us, Dr.
I
P.
wish I was too.
But maybe next Friday.
Yeah. I'll try to work that out.
If you can, great. If not, you're not that important.
Oh, I know. I agree.
But we appreciate everything you've done again this morning on the program. You've done a wonderful job.
Always good to be here.
Yeah, nice
Thanks,
to see
Dr.
you.
P. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Back-to-back aces, Jesus wants to give some love to his friends John and Kelly at the Strawberries and Cream stand at the State Fair. Best strawberries in town, he said.
So good.
Son of a bitch. I just walked by there yesterday and ignored them like they were the plague.
Well, today you got to go.
I did.
Shout out to Redhead Jesus and the girls headed to Mille Lacs this weekend for a nice little ladies trip. I'm going to read this text as written. I want to send a shout out to my wife, Yvonne, for being my freaking wife for the last 28 years tomorrow. I love you, babe. Yes, you too, Josh. Thank you. That's from Snow Bear Welding Jesus. When people say I love you, I never know if they're talking to me or the person they're shouting out.
It's nice to know.
Johnny Mack texted in a happy anniversary to his beautiful wife, Extreme Bitch One Jesus. Insurance adjuster Jesus wants to wish his kid a happy 22nd birthday. Happy 82nd birthday to Asian cop Jesus' Uncle Jesus. And happy 50th to Brick Chucking Jesus. Sure hope we can meet as many of you as possible today at the fair. In the meantime, have a great weekend.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.